noise.
The sound of welcoming.
Okay, welcome to anybody who may already be here. We're gonna get situated for a few minutes here before we start officially. Make sure everything is working out right.
Oh!
Ah, no, Sean, you are not first. You were beaten to it by just a little bit.
Sam was very fast. It wasn't your fault.
I guess we should probably play something to make the... Oh, man, the controller's over there. No. And the cat's on me.
I can get it relaxed.
Okay.
Daisy, though, you're on your own. Ah!
Pirate Kong says, I saw a stream go up and dropped everything immediately. People are complaining about white mode. That is the white theme on the Switch.
Yeah, night mode is usually always preferred.
What? No, I love white mode.
But that's what I've heard.
I love the light theme. No. I mean the television remote, so I can turn the volume down.
You said controller. Since when do we ever call
the
remote
control?
The controller.
Oh man,
we never do that. I'm a victim of circumstance. Ugh. Watch out, Daisy.
Yeah, no, I've always been a light mode kind of guy.
She fucking stole my seat. Come here, little baby. Oh.
Man, I don't themes. There it is. That'll hurt people's eyes less.
Oh shit. Sorry.
But I don't care. We're sticking with white mode. I forgot the light theme existed. No, I mean, I think the people who don't like light mode are like really, really like serious about it, and like that it's a really strong preference for them. But it's also kind of like telling that it's the default on everything. Like I think most people probably prefer it.
White theme just seems to be quite controversial.
Somebody asked, why do I have parental controls on?
Because I don't trust you of having access to the eShop.
That's totally fair. I mean, no, it's actually because for some, like the 3DS and the Wii U both had these really cool features where like it would automatically track your playtime. But with the Switch, the only way to track your playtime is to link it to an app, and even then it will only track you if you have parental controls on. So they don't actually do anything. I don't have anything set, I just use it so I can track my playtime with the app, because Nintendo wants you to link everything to an app these days.
No, it's actually because he's baby.
Don't tell them that. We have to stop him from buying Sonic Mania.
Oh, if y'all knew how many times he actually bought Sonic Mania.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump into a game here just so that there's some like sound going, and it's gonna be Sonic Mania. Let's do that. What we're doing here is we're gonna give it roughly 10 minutes before we like officially start talking about E3, just to make sure that the stream health is good and like everything is set up right. I haven't done this in a long time.
Yeah.
I don't stream very often.
Did I say who I am? I'm really confused right now.
No, just let them assume things. If you're wondering who she is, you'll find out once the show officially starts. We'll introduce you then.
Oh my god.
Until then, what's the best game released in the past 20 years, and why is it Sonic Mania?
I don't know. That's a very loaded question.
I don't feel like it is.
I feel like that was a leading question.
It's more of. I feel like it's more of a given. I think it's like the sky is blue.
I don't know. Has Barbie Horse Adventures gotten a remaster yet? Because it would definitely be that.
Oh my goodness. That's just gonna raise more questions, you know. So how's the chat doing? Chat, tell me how the stream quality is, how we sound. Is everything good? Is this acceptable? Could you turn?
We can do that.
Okay, so do you mean like there's too much of an echo, or I need to turn the? Ooh, Ganon Tice just donated $1. Thank you.
Ganon Tice. Oh, Horizon Zero Dawn is a very good game. I enjoy it a lot.
The hedgehog is blue.
I actually started
just like this guy.
Playing it again recently. You guys want to talk about Horizon Zero?
Actually, Chad, I'm sorry. The topic of conversation was Sonic Mania and how good it is. I'm not gonna...
Well, one person said something besides Sonic, and I was like, okay.
Okay, I need to... Here, you play Sonic Mania for a second. I need to go turn down the Switch volume.
Okay. Oh, God. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Because I'm terrible at Sonic games. Though I have a lot of respect for Sonic as a person. Oh! Yes!
Okay, turn down the game volume quite a bit more. Is that better?
Woo! Oh, shit. I did it.
Like, the point of the stream here is not going to be to talk about the games we're playing. It's just kind of to have something in the background. So it really doesn't need to sound... you don't need to hear the game audio
Sonic.
very well.
Surprise, I actually rule at Sonic. No, I don't.
Okay, hey, there you go. You're doing alright.
Wah! I feel like I'm taking the absolute worst route possible. No!
You gotta be more zen about it than that. There's no such thing as a bad route.
You should have it back now.
Okie dokie. So, does everything sound good now? Okay. Oh, how do I do the rapid spin dash? I actually, like, move my hand when I do that. I'll explain in a second. Before I die to this before I die to the boss of the first level. Embarrassingly. It's not a good time to talk about spin dashing. Okay. I actually, like, move my whole hand. Like, I use my, my pointer finger. It took me a minute to remember what my fingers were called. I use my pointer finger and my middle finger.
You mean your index finger?
And just mash, like, 2 buttons back and forth and then release it.
Daisy, come here.
And now the cat is completely blocking the chat. There we go.
Come on, sweetie.
The only bad route is playing Sonic 06.
Ha! You got him.
Let's see. Okay, Rapid Fire in Mega Man X, I do it a little differently. I just do that thing where, like, you tense up the muscles in your arm to, like, make it vibrate. And then, you know, just, I mean, I can't show you, but that kind of thing.
I saw it. It was good.
Give them a recap. This is not going to be a video podcast. Somebody asked if this is my girlfriend. Well, she was.
Keep the mystery alive.
She used to be my girlfriend, but she's not now. I always rub my thumb across the entire face of the controller. Let me try that. Oh yeah, that works too. Oh, nice. Although I'm not used to it when I jumped out of it. Yeah, that's pretty good. Like a quick 2 rubs across all 3 buttons gets you. Yeah, that's good. I'll have to give that a shot. No, not wife either. Between those 2. Oh, somebody said congratulations. Thank you.
Thanks. I'm the fiance. Let's just get it out there.
But what's your name?
Alicia. That's me.
I'm gonna have you do that again once we officially start.
Oh, okay.
But yes. Sonic Mania is my favorite Mario game. Cosplay partner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Between girlfriend and wife, there's cosplay partner.
Yeah, 2 extremes and then the one in the middle.
Somebody asked what they missed. Nothing yet. We haven't even really started yet. We're just goofing off and making sure the stream's going to be okay, because I don't do this very often. I'm pretty sure the last time I streamed was, like, probably about a year ago. I did, like, a stream after the Dreamcast episode where I did, like, commentary on it and stuff.
Yeah, I have never been on a stream with you, so... I'll do my best to be cool.
You don't have to try to be cool. You're going to be inherently cool. She's your bird dad.
That's me, Bird Dad.
You're not okay. I don't think you ever call you like Bird Dad, but you're not literally
No,
Bird Dad.
I'm Bird Dad now.
Yeah, Alicia is also the person who provided the voice of Samus / the extremely excitable rant about the Metroid manga in the other video.
Yeah, that was me.
There was a DKC2 stream. Yeah, you're right. That was more recent. That was affiliated with DK Vine, though. That wasn't me. That was DK Vine.
But you were involved.
Supersonic. Okay, by the way, there's not any problem with like an echo? You're not hearing like the game audio twice? Because that was something I was obsessively trying to fix last night.
Yeah, that was a problem last night.
Oh, people are happy that you're the Bird Dad.
I'm everyone's Bird Dad.
I usually call her the bird, my bird lady, but...
No, I'm Bird Dad now. Caw!
Yeah, that was the rant. You forgot about your Bird Dad?
Aw, said I had a pretty voice. Y'all are too kind.
Are we... when we get compliments, do we devolve into southern accents?
That's my hospitality voice.
Oh, howdy, y'all!
Howdy.
My name's Josh, and this is my fiance / cousin Alicia.
Yeehaw!
We're actually from the South. We're allowed to do this.
You're born with a license to do that in the South.
Stream is solid. I'm hearing the game audio 5 times, but that's because I'm constantly listening to 4 copies of the Sonic Mania soundtrack at once. You know how to live.
You found Nirvana, my friend.
Just gonna hit the end of Chemical Plant, and then I promise I'll probably stop playing Sonic Mania for a while, and we can actually do this thing.
You never stop playing Sonic Mania.
On some level, that's true. But I'm glad to hear everything's okay. And I'm very excited to have you on a stream for the first time.
I'm excited to be here.
I'm gonna turn the game audio down a little more. Just feel like it'll keep us more focused that way.
I think we're used to playing games very quietly now for videos, so.
Oh yeah, if you guys don't know either, there's actually an alternate Geek critique channel called TGC Genesis. And me and Alicia have been doing a couple of things on there the past couple of weeks.
So if you want some more of this spicy entertainment, you know.
We've played Style Savvy.
Yes.
I sadly had to play Sonic Heroes again. I told myself I never would, but I went back.
That was a time.
This boss bothers me because, like, I'm always trying to do something cool, and he usually kills himself before I can do my cool thing.
Life is so hard for you. You beat all of us constantly all the time. At good old Puyo Puyo, so.
I'm really not very good at it, though.
Oh,
Comparatively.
okay. I mean, maybe, like, professional Puyo players, if that is an occupation you can have.
I think it is. I know Tetris is.
Can you be a professional Tetriser? Tetrisino?
Yeah, you definitely can. I mean, I'm pretty sure there are actual... Okay, I know for a fact there are tournaments. I don't know if that's all you can do. I don't know if it has, like, the following that, like, fighting games do. Yeah, see, I'm just screwing up everything I'm trying to do here. The way that I play Puyo Puyo is, like... I just sort of get a good feeling about where to place things. Ooh, the King of Cucumbers has just donated $5! Thank you!
Long live the Cucumber King!
And they say... Was the Dreamcast / VMU... Oh, well, it's rolled off. I don't know if this was clearly stated at all, but was the Dreamcast VMU episode greenlit? Yes, it was!
It was.
And that's what I've been working on for the past couple of weeks. Competitive Puyo Puyo is a thing. Okay, now we're gonna go on to Studiopolis Zone, and I'm gonna... Common CJ donated $5. Thank you very much! Says, I may not have my Patreon anymore, but I still support this channel. Go, Geek Critique!
Oh, which Common Rider is that? Is that one? You got good taste, my friend.
Thank you very much for the donations, guys.
You guys rule.
Think the term is tetrician.
Tetrician?
All right. So once we actually are doing this officially, I'm going to try not to, like, refer back to the chat too much, because I want this to be something that people can watch, like, later on.
Yeah.
But at the end of the show, once we get done, like, talking about our own thoughts, we will definitely be taking some questions from the chat directly.
Oh, absolutely.
So, I guess we're ready to get going. I do this so rarely. I was like, I should put together an intro for the chat that I can do. And we've got somebody spamming the chat. Hang on, let me take care of that. Just timeout. There we go. Okay, I don't know how putting a user in timeout actually works.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do this for now. You should know better than that.
I have no idea how anything works in stream towns.
Okay, I will be keeping an eye on the chat, and I'll try to keep anything like that from happening. So yeah, we're gonna get started now. Do you wanna? I was saying I don't have an intro. I did not buy Commander Keen just to play it during the stream. No, I already had it. So do you want to just do our own intro?
Okay.
Okay.
Welcome to the stream. We're the Geek team. Time to stream. Time to stream. I can't rap.
No, the music's over now.
What? I wanted to do it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to what is a very rare occasion of a recording of an episode of the Geek Critique Podcast. I'm Josh Wallen.
I'm Alicia, the bird lady.
Yeah, this is the first sort of main channel content that you've ever participated on.
Yeah, it really is, though. So some of you guys might not have any idea who I am.
Well, I think most of you will probably be familiar with her because she was the voice of Samus / the lady who ranted about bird dads in the Metroid Other M episode.
Just saying, I'm a big fan of bird dads, as we all should be.
In terms of relationship to me, though, this is, of course, my sister, right?
Sister / fiance. You get all the perks.
No, just my fiance.
Just a fiance, no relation.
I feel like if we don't clarify that, people are gonna wonder.
Yeah, sorry. Anyway, moving right along.
Do you want to? Can we hear your bird call?
Oh yeah, sure. A little nervous. First time doing it live, you know. Call.
Excellent. But what we are here to talk about today is E3 2019, which just wrapped up last week. We, of course, the Geek Critique is inherently important. It's a very big deal. They actually flew us out to E3, of course. Mm-hmm. We went on Nintendo's company jet. Doug Bowser was there. He's a really, really nice man.
Yeah, he shook our hands, said thank you for...
Thank you.
For
blaming us for the AM2R debacle.
Yes. But also thank you for elevating gaming discourse to the gold standard that it is today.
No, we did not actually go to E3.
No.
We didn't even leave the state of Tennessee.
Not because we're not cool enough.
But because we don't have the kind of money that it would take to go.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know. I feel like I deal so much in, like, retro games. What would really be there for me?
Like a ton of stuff.
I could give you my live report of the Sega Genesis Classic.
You could have just hung out with the giant Genesis controller the entire time.
That's what I would have literally beaten Sonic 2 on that thing if they had let me.
They would have been like, "Sir, we need to like move it along a bit." And you'd be like, "No, I've adopted this controller. It's a member of my family now."
I probably would have tried to ask them if I could, like, buy it from them. Mm-hmm. Like, what's going to happen to that thing now that E3's over?
I don't know.
That's what I wonder. Like, could we have that in our home?
Is it just gonna like sit in a warehouse not being appreciated?
Because I tell you what, I will appreciate it.
Yeah, you appreciate it a little too much, if you ask me.
Well, you would know.
I would know, yeah.
So, I guess we don't really have an idea of how we wanted to structure this thing. We just kind of looked through everything that was announced at each press conference and took some notes.
So this is gonna be a little loosey-goosey.
Little loosey-goosey.
Loosey-goosey.
And by the way, if you're watching the video, like, I don't know if there's... If you're paying attention to the video, like, basically every time that I ever appear on somebody else's podcast, I'm usually playing some sort of a game in the background.
Yeah.
So in this case, you actually get to see what that is. So I'm going to try to play some things that are sort of relevant to announcements that happened at E3.
But I am gonna play Castlevania, and you guys will get to see me be bad at it. You're welcome.
Yeah, Castlevania, of course, a game that I rather strictly avoid playing too much of because I intend to do a series on it at some point. That's kind of been the case for the past couple of years now.
But I'm a big Castlevania head, so that's what I wanted to play.
Yeah. Figure that'll be good.
Dracula Forever.
Oh man, I remember getting completely lost on this level. This isn't going to be good for me. So, with that being said, Alicia, would you like to introduce the first topic? What do we want to go
How in the world do I even...
Scroll down the page and figure out the first thing that you want us to talk about. We could go in chronological order.
I guess we should just go by conference.
I guess that works, yeah.
I don't know. If this seems a little weird, you guys just tell us and we'll switch gears. Loosey-goosey.
Uh-huh. Okay, so the first thing, like sort of the first thing that came out pre-E3, I think they wanted to get ahead of the news, was information regarding the next game from Playtonic. Mm-hmm. This was like the first thing that was like, oh man, like I was hyped about E3 anyway. I was like, E3's coming up. Can't wait to see what's going to happen. And then just a few days before, oh crap, this thing. Just a few days before that, like the information came out about Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair. Now apparently this is something that Playtonic has been working on kind of in secret since Yooka-Laylee came out on the Switch. So it's not something that they've like promoted. They haven't like they've actually talked a little bit about how they're never going to use the words what was like spiritual successor again because they felt like that caused Yooka-Laylee to be held to some like very specific standards.
A weird, very high standard.
So this is a 2D platformer, and the reason I bring up the spiritual successor thing is because of course this team at Playtonic is made up of a lot of the same people who made Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2. So, of course, the first comparison that people want to make is like that, like this to those games or this to Tropical Freeze. And I think that they're trying to sort of get ahead of that and make it clear that, you know, this is not supposed to be a game in the vein of Tropical Freeze or Donkey Kong Country Returns or even the old school original DKC games. And you can really see that in sort of the way that, from what I understand, the way that this game is going to work, is like there's an actual level called the Impossible Lair. And at any point in the game, you're going to be able to go challenge that. And it's supposed to be like this very, very, very difficult platforming challenge, and like lots of enemies. It's going to be really tough.
That's really cool. I didn't know that. I mean, I didn't play much Yooka-Laylee. I liked what I did play. And the Impossible Lair looks really, really cute.
It looks freaking gorgeous, yeah.
Yeah, it looks really good. But I didn't know that, so that's going to be really cool.
So, like, what you're going to do, basically, and by the way, I know I'm sucking at the game I'm playing. It's because I'm trying to talk and play at the same time. It's harder than you'd think. But
you're the #1 gamer, boy. Everyone knows it.
But, anyway, I think, sort of, for one thing, you don't really need, like, a spiritual successor to a genre like the 2D platformer, which is, like, as strong as it's ever been right now, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad to see they're doing something unique with it. I guess my concern, like, if you've watched my most recent episode about Sonic Advance 3, you know that I think that, like, hub worlds are kind of a difficult thing to get right. And they're not often, like, usually if a game has a hub world, that's, like, especially a game like this, that's probably going to be, like, the least enjoyable part of it for me.
Mm-hmm.
And Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair is going to have, like, a big focus on hub world. In fact, that's on its hub world. Like, that's one thing that's supposed to make it, like, unique from other 2D platformers. So, like, you'll have your side-scrolling, like, platforming levels, and those look great. And then you'll also have these sort of, I guess, old-school Zelda-esque overhead 3D sections, where, like, there's going to be more of a puzzle mechanic.
Yeah,
And,
that looked really cool.
I mean, yeah, it looks cool, and I'm sure it can be well done. I'm just, for me personally, with my preferences, I'm a little concerned about it, you know? But that being said, I am, of course, really looking forward to this. I think that, like, I'm hyped to see what Platonic's been working on all this time. And, like, I'm really happy to see them. I did kind of think that after Yooka-Laylee, they might, like, go with a completely different property.
You know, I kind of expected them to as well.
Or do, like, a spin-off of something from Yooka-Laylee.
I didn't expect them to do Yooka-Laylee, but, like, different, you know?
Like, something that takes place in the same shared, like, Platonic universe, because they have talked about that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think that for an indie developer with, like, sort of their budget and stuff, I think it makes a lot of sense to go for a 2D platformer, and I'm glad to see them putting a unique spin on it.
Yeah, me too. It's gonna be cool.
Alright, so you want to... moving right along, what actually happened at E3?
They released some games. They showed some games. There was a dog.
Okay, but let's...
Keanu Reeves.
Okay, yes.
That is a very broad question. How am I supposed to answer that?
Let's start with Microsoft's press conference, chronologically, the first one.
Well, we talked about Yooka-Laylee, so next would be a Cyberpunk...
Cyberpunk.
I'm nervous. Cyberpunk 2077.
I think you have more to say about this one than I do, probably.
Well, yeah, I'm a big CD Projekt Red fan.
Alright, so take it away.
No, I mean, what can I say? Cyberpunk 2077 looks like it's gonna be really cool. Like, I love The Witcher 3. I played it so much and I cried a lot. And, I mean, I love CD Projekt Red. I played The Witcher 2, Witcher 3, and I'm really excited about this one. Looks really awesome. Keanu Reeves is gonna be in it. They haven't shown much gameplay, though.
That was kind of a theme of E3, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the one thing that, like, the definitive moment of maybe the entire, of, like, Microsoft's show was definitely Keanu Reeves coming out.
Oh my god, yeah, everyone just lost their shit. And he seemed so excited to be there. It was so cute.
He was very affable, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I like that he was sort of making fun of the whole idea of these, like, pre-approved corporate speeches.
Yeah.
But in, like, a super relatable way. It was a lot of fun.
But yeah, I'm really excited for... I mean, I've been excited since they only had, like, a couple of pieces of art to show for it. But that's just because I'm such a big fan of the studio and I really trust them to do something cool.
I'm excited. So this is the same people who made The Witcher 3, correct?
Yep.
I have never played The Witcher 3, but I've of course heard all kinds of, like, endless praise over it.
I know it gets circle jerked all the time now, but it's legitimately an amazing game. I love that game.
No, I mean, I'm sure it lives up to the hype. It's just, I'm not really, like, fantasy aesthetics don't inherently do it for me. Like, they're kind of a detriment to me, to be honest. Like, the Elder Scrolls, Lord of the Rings, stuff like that, doesn't really inherently gel with me for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I like space, and I like sci-fi, and I like meta stuff, and, like... Basically what I'm saying, Cyberpunk 2077 looks really appealing.
It looks more up your alley, yeah.
And I just wish we had seen a little bit more in terms of what the gameplay would actually be like.
Yeah. But what we have seen looks really cool. So I'm excited to see more.
So actually, I think let's go ahead and go into this.
Mm-hmm.
I made a list of a couple of things that, like, I didn't like so much at E3, and we were talking about ways to do this. I was like, maybe we should do, like, a top 5 hits and top 5 misses, and misses is too strong of a word, I think. Also, I'm sorry, I keep falling down here. Over and over, and I'm just gonna die now and go to a different
I'm just gonna drink this in, because whenever we play games, I lose, so...
Well, you can enjoy this, then.
I'll suck up all this, like, negative energy and then just, like... zoop it out when I need it.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. That's the plan.
So, I guess it's more fair to say things that I didn't like at E3 2019. So let's just go into that. But I want to be clear that this isn't stuff like, I didn't want to put anything on here that, like, was just stuff that I don't personally care about. Because that's not really fair to say. It's like, okay, I didn't really care about... Wasn't there a new Star Wars game?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, like, I'm not gonna play that. I don't care about Star Wars too much.
I mean,
despite what I said earlier about sci-fi stuff.
I mean, I've really wanted a new single-player Star Wars game for a long time, so, I mean, I'm excited to see where it goes. What they show now doesn't really interest me too much, but, I mean, you tell me single-player Star Wars, I'll be like, okay.
Yeah,
I'll keep that on my radar.
Yeah, and I know people are excited about it, but I would never want to, just because I don't care about it, I wouldn't want to call it a miss, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
This is more stuff, like, that I cared about, that I was looking forward to, that I still was let down by, like, the announcement of, or what they showed of it. And what I care about when it comes to video games is video games. I care about how the game plays. So that was probably... above all else, what I was disappointed with E3 this year is that even the games that I, like, could hypothetically get excited about or care about, like, we barely got to see anything about how the mechanics of them work.
Yeah. Like, especially Microsoft, it was like a bunch of really quick trailers.
Like, to be clear, I think Microsoft did a really good job.
Yeah, they did. Like,
they announced so many games. They had so many games.
The trailers definitely piqued my baby interest, but, like... it's still, like, you want to see the gameplay so you can understand how things are going to work, you know?
Like, a good example of this, like, here's a property that I've always kind of wanted to play, but haven't really gotten into. Halo. I've played Halo 1, like, I've picked it up, like, several times over the years, never really gotten into it. But so the announcement of this new Halo game was this opportunity, at least from my perspective, to be like, okay, so let's see, what's Halo like now? I haven't played it since like the original Xbox version. Like, I wonder what it's like.
I mean, we got a really compelling, like, story trailer there, but I mean, you know, it's Halo.
Yeah, but that tells me,
I guess they're just banking on people know how Halo works by now.
Yeah, but, like, maybe the combat has evolved.
Perhaps it has.
But, like, that showing, and, you know, like, this is something that, like, this is sort of an opportunity to show me something that I might not normally look at, that I might not normally care about. So, like, I'm gonna play on hard mode now, by the way.
Oh, shit.
I just keep playing Horseradish Hill over and over again. This is an opportunity to, like, showcase something that, and I feel like this is true for a lot of people, like, having, like, these conferences, sort of the, like, one good thing about them is that, like, serious, like, hardcore gamers are paying attention, right, like, to this stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, even stuff that they might not typically care about, you can, like, hook their interest.
Yeah.
But, like, narrative trailers aren't gonna hook my interest in, like, because they're not gonna tell me anything about what it's actually gonna be like to play the game, you know?
Yeah, but, you know, narrative trailers can hook a lot of other people.
I know. That's true. And I'm glad you're here to say that.
I mean...
and not just let me run away with my...
I know.
Gameplay is the only thing that matters in the entire... Like, I'm not saying that.
Oh, I know. I mean, gameplay's, you know, what it comes down to. I mean, I'll forgive a kind of janky playing game if I enjoy it for, you know, some of its parts situation, but...
Yeah, whereas I'm basically the opposite on that.
Yeah.
Like, if a game isn't fun for me to play, then then in most cases, I'm not saying there aren't exceptions, but it doesn't really matter what the story is like, or how good the characters are, or how good the writing is. Like, a good example of that might be something like Earthbound.
Oh, yeah, I love Earthbound.
Yeah, and lots of people love Earthbound, and I love hearing about how much people love Earthbound. Like, that's one of those series that's like, I love hearing why people love it. Because, like, people who love it do it so genuinely and so completely, and they're so into it, and that's awesome. But whenever I play Earthbound, I'm just like, I, like, lose interest after 10 minutes because it's just not fun to play for me.
Yeah, but when I play Earthbound, I'm drawn in by all the weird zaniness and finding a new town and seeing what's gonna happen, you know. That kind of thing keeps me going, even if the gameplay gets a little repetitive.
But, so the exception to this sort of gameplay problem at E3, there were a couple of exceptions. I think that we saw quite a bit of gameplay on Psychonauts 2.
Yeah, that looks really good.
I think we saw... we definitely... Okay, so talking about Square's show a little bit. Square was basically, like, from my perspective, okay? It was basically the Final Fantasy VII remake, and I loved how they did that. They showed some really good trailers.
Yeah, they showed a ton of stuff.
And then they just showed a really long gameplay segment that like actually gave me a feel for like, okay, what it's actually going to be like to play this game.
Yeah.
Like that's what does it for me. But the problem is after that one part, the rest of Square's show was basically just a bunch of stuff that I didn't really know about, and it kind of bored the crap out of me.
Yeah, they didn't really show. Well, man, okay, I'm gonna.
They're Square.
There we go. I mean, Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC looks good. I'm excited for that. Dragon Quest Builders 2, I'm all here for it.
Yeah, I mean, Dragon Quest Builders 2, they definitely showed like plenty of that too.
Oh yeah, I love Dragon Quest Builders. If you guys haven't played that, if you like Minecraft type deal games, you know, I urge you to give it a chance because it's so freaking good. It's adorable and charming and really fun.
Other than that, though, like, the only things I could come up with that were, like, disappointments about E3 were the lack of gameplay. For everybody, like, of course, look, I'm biased. I'm gonna be biased as heck about this, I know. But I feel like Nintendo was kind of the exception to that.
Yeah, but they always are. Normally.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, like, the thing about Nintendo.
Subjective, but it feels like they always are.
Is that they tend to be like a lot more gameplay focused in terms of the way their games are designed.
Yeah.
I know people said a while back that like the greatest comparison, like a really apt comparison between a really apt comparison between Sony and Nintendo's approach is that Sony licensed this game called the Tetris Effect, which is this absolutely beautiful, like, immersive VR experience where you play Tetris and music plays, and it's really beautiful. And then Nintendo made Tetris Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Like, that's
kind
of
approaches.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the lack of gameplay was a letdown. I feel like E3 this year had a lack of something that we call cringy bullshit.
We're terrible people for that, though.
Like, what I mean by that, like we said earlier, that the thing that was fun about Keanu Reeves' appearance was that he was so genuine in his, like, almost gleefully mocking the whole idea of corporate. We didn't have anything like Reggie saying, "My body is ready." And in fact, Reggie's presence was sorely missed, of course.
Or any horrible musical numbers, you know? Not that I know of. Maybe they were secret ones.
We did not watch every conference, we should say. There was probably something we're missing.
Yeah. So hey, if we missed something, let us know.
Fallout 76 Battle Royale, that's something.
Yep. It seems like they're just desperately trying to save a very, very broken game with something that's very popular with the kiddies right now.
I did like that even they were aware of what they were doing, though, you know? Mm-hmm. But probably out of everything, aside from something more general like just a lack of gameplay focus, the biggest miss of E3 for me, and it's something that I'm trying to be nuanced about, and I'm trying to keep a look at from a positive perspective, but it was Bethesda's announcement of a new Commander Keen game.
Yeah, not coming back in the way people would want, especially Joshy Baby.
There were 3 occasions at E3 where I saw something that I honestly would never have expected to see. Mm-hmm. And one of these was Commander Keen.
Yeah. Like,
Commander Keen, I think I was even talking it up on Twitter the other day. And by the way, this game I'm playing right here is Keen Dreams. It's not the best Commander Keen game by any means, but it's the only one on the Switch, so it was available.
Yeah.
Commander Keen was a very old series of games from id Software before they ever became, before they made Doom. And even, in fact, before they made Wolfenstein.
Yeah. They took a hard left turn.
This was a series of games that, I played before I even played Sonic games.
Yeah. I remember you telling me you were playing them on your mom's supercomputer on DOS.
Yeah. Well, it was a supercomputer for, 1991.
Super old.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But, I've always thought of it as this series that, like, it's this example of a retro series that unless you were there for, you're not likely to have any idea about, because despite the fact that, like, it's very cheap on Steam, like, it's not really something that you're going to check out or that you're going to seek out yourself unless you just happen to remember it. It's not the kind of thing that, like, is going to get any representation in new games, so, like, you don't really hear about it from anybody other than people who were there at the time.
Yeah, I'd honestly never heard of it until you were playing it.
Yeah.
In front of me one day.
So, like, to see Commander Keen, like, get a brand new game is just inherently, like, super exciting and super unexpected, and but unfortunately...
They're bringing it back as a mobile game.
Now, like, I know a lot of gamers have, like, this intense automatic anger about the very concept of mobile gaming, and I'm not one of those.
No.
Like, I think it's perfectly okay if people... like, for people to play what they want, and that's fine.
Sorry, our cat keeps getting all up everywhere.
Indeed. But, like, I guess the one good thing I can say about it is that I feel like the mere existence of a new Commander Keen game makes it seem a lot more likely that something better could come from it, you know? So, like, the gameplay doesn't look anything like this, of course, because how would you really do this on mobile?
Man, I don't even know. Like, how does it work? Isn't it like one of those...
It looks like...
pokey games?
I watched the trailer twice, but it's been a few days. It looks like some sort of a tower defense game.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think it's probably going to have microtransactions.
You know, the works.
Like, there hasn't been a new Commander Keen game since a very obscure Game Boy Color version came out in 2001. And there hasn't been a new Commander Keen game like this, like, that's actually, like, in this style at all, since, I think, like, 1992.
Yeah.
So, like, people have, like, been wanting, like, okay, let's just do a Commander Keen throwback game. Let's do a Sonic Mania style Commander Keen game or something.
Yeah, it's just a really weird move. I think.
This is something that a lot of old farts like me remember.
Especially now that, like, id's making Doom again, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like maybe they'd want to take a crack at a new Commander Keen game.
That's the second time I've fallen in the water here. But yeah, so that was probably...
You gotta stay hydrated.
You do. That was probably the biggest miss at E3 to me. But, like I said, optimistically, maybe it'll lead to something better. Maybe, like, Bethesda will hear sort of this how let down people are, and that'll get people talking about it.
Yeah.
But
Not that Bethesda actually has a very good track record of that kind of thing.
Well, see, I basically don't care about much else that Bethesda does.
I still kind of...
I like Doom alright, but, like...
They're publishing that. They didn't make that.
Oh, okay, well...
I still kind of care about Elder Scrolls.
Somebody says just keep swimming.
Hell yeah.
Another comment I just got, I don't know who Commander Keen is for. Nobody who religiously plays mobile games will know or care about him.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's such a weird move.
That's something that I think Tom Hall said, who is, like, sort of the creator of Commander Keen. 'Cause he has nothing to do with the mobile game whatsoever. Mm-hmm. Like, it doesn't feel like a Commander Keen game. It feels like a concept that they already had in the works, and then they slapped this license on it just because it was available.
Yeah.
Like,
that's kind of what it feels like.
Like, it's not going to make this nearly this kind of splash. Because, like, just not enough people remember this. But, like, yeah, splash. I'm doing that on purpose. I know what I'm about to do. I'm staying aware of it.
I saw Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, just did it anyway. Oh, man.
I saw Elder Scrolls for the 3DS, and it made me laugh. Sorry.
There we go.
Ooh.
Yeah, I gotta take care of that. Taking care of it.
Have a good night.
Some people are saying that they've never heard of Commander Keen before this stream.
That's
and
fair.
Yeah, dude, that makes sense. I mean, why would you?
Mm-hmm.
So, I think I'm going to let you play something for a while now. I think people are probably awfully tired of seeing me run through Keen Dreams over and over again.
Oh, okay. Should I just go straight into the Castlevania?
I mean, play what you want, but yeah, probably.
Alright, we're gonna play Castlevania.
And you have to play it under your account there.
I know what to do.
Okay.
I'm extremely intelligent. I'm extremely excited for Doom Eternal. I love the Doom first new Doom, it's gonna be really good.
So only 90s kids will remember Commander Keen. So, yeah, actually, that's exactly what I was saying. This is, to people, like, who do remember Commander Keen and who do care about it, this is, like, exactly a Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts situation. I mean, the thing about nuts and bolts was, it had been a really long time, relatively speaking, since the last real Banjo-Kazooie game, and then Nuts and Bolts came out. And it didn't really matter how good or how bad Nuts and Bolts was. What mattered is that, like, it wasn't a new, like, real mainline Banjo game. It was something else. It was a spin-off. And, like, if new Banjo games had been coming out that whole time, and it hadn't been, like, so long since the last one, I don't think it would have had such a bad reception, because I think Nuts and Bolts is actually a very well-made game. It just wasn't what anybody wanted.
Let's do it.
And in much the same way, I think that the problem with this whole Commander Keen game is just that no matter how good of a mobile game it is, nobody who remembers Commander Keen wants a mobile game, and nobody who wants a mobile game remembers who Commander Keen is. So it's a weird move.
It is a weird move, yeah. If I'm terrible, I'm sorry in advance. It's the pressure, you know?
Oh, what did you name yourself? I didn't see.
Nothing.
What did you name yourself?
Ass.
We don't use language like that on the Geek Critique. How many times do I have to fucking go over this?
I've said fucking at least 2 times.
The usual rules of the Geek Critique do not apply during live streams. Because I could never get her to... I could never get her to not use bad words anyway.
Oh my god, I don't say bad words all the time. It's just sometimes the sentence needs a good just fuck, you know?
Alright, so I'll take over driving this thing now.
Sorry.
That's gonna sound real weird to people who are, who are just listening to the audio of this.
Yeah.
Just random screams throughout. Just assume it's Kazuha fucking up in the video game.
Yeah. Oh god.
So, I guess I mentioned... Baby.
What?
You gotta stop.
I'm really sorry.
You gotta stop yelling when you die.
I'm sorry. I didn't even die, though. I just couldn't get up the thing. You always expect the worst from me.
So, I said that there were 3 occasions where something happened. Oh my god.
I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm so sorry.
There were 3 occasions where I saw something at E3 that I never ever ever would have expected. So let me tell you about those other 2 times. Once was during the last time that it happened was actually during Nintendo's conference when I heard some very familiar music start up and found out that they're remaking Panzer Dragoon. That's another Panzer Dragoon is this it's come out a while back that Sega was looking to actually freaking use its sort of legacy IPs besides Sonic, which is I think the sort of response that everybody had at that was like, okay, we'll believe it when we see it. Mm-hmm. And they seem to actually be putting their money where their mouth is, because God, I think the last Panzer Dragoon game came out in 2002 on the Xbox. I think it was Panzer Dragoon Orta. Mm. So yeah, that's just something that I definitely would have always wanted to see at E3, but never ever would have predicted. However, that pales in comparison to my excitement for the first time that happened, when during Microsoft's conference, the freaking Phantasy Star Online music starts playing.
Oh my god, yeah, that was fucking crazy.
Immediately, I was like, no freaking... it took me a minute to even register it as real. Yeah. I was like, there's gotta be some sort of mistake. I can't believe I'm hearing this.
You were like, I know that music.
Yeah, it took me...
I've heard it.
It was so unexpected that it took me a second to even place it. And what's really cool is that I saw quite a few old school Sega fans and Dreamcast fans on Twitter who had the exact same reaction. Immediately your heart just leaps into your throat, and
yeah.
at the very prospect that this would get talked about at E3, that you're actually seeing this.
Oh my god!
You've done that twice now. See, it's hard, isn't it?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Whenever people criticize Let's Players or whatever and say, oh man, you're so bad at the game, it is hard to carry on a conversation and play video games at the same time. Much harder than you would expect it to be.
And it's doubly hard if you keep jumping on a skeleton's head over and over again.
Well,
Maybe you should take that.
No, I'm taking a break now.
No, maybe we should try a different Castlevania. You guys got some. You got one you want to see?
Yeah, that's in this collection. That would be a good idea.
Yeah, because you know.
So anyway, the big news is that Phantasy Star Online 2, a game that came out in Japan, God, I think in like 2012, 2013. In any case, when it came out, it was announced as coming out worldwide.
We're gonna play Kid Drac.
That's a good idea. And then, like, we never actually heard any information about it. It came out in Japan, fans made translation patches, and for years and years and years and years, Sega's been completely quiet about it. Which has honestly been really disappointing to people because, like, the game's there. The game is happening. Like, PSO2 was made and came out and got updates and has been running in Japan for all this time. And, like, yeah, you can get, like, translation patches on PC, but it's never had, like, a wide release outside of Japan. So, yeah, to actually hear that and actually see that that's happening next year just freaking blows my mind. And, like, everybody I know is like, me and all my friends used to play PSO on the Dreamcast and then later on the PC, and occasionally we still play it on the PC. So, yeah, especially after all this time, I think everybody had just kind of come to terms with the idea that the West would never get Phantasy Star Online 2. So the fact that it's actually freaking happening is just incredibly exciting, although I should say that comes with a caveat. And that is that, unfortunately, they have nothing to announce about anywhere other than North America just yet.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate.
Which does suck because, like, half the people I saw hyped about this on Twitter
were the old UK.
Yeah, we're from the UK, where, you know, Sega had a super loyal fan base, and then come to find out that Sega Europe is just like, well, we have nothing to announce right now.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully that'll change soon. Because, man, I remember when they first announced Phantasy Star Online 2 like a million years ago, and then just never heard anything else about it.
Yeah, we were so hyped right from the start. Like, we watched, like, me and all my friends watched the trailer and were like, oh man, I can't freaking wait.
Woo!
And then it just never happened.
I remember me and my big brother losing our shit.
So that was like for a couple of days, that was the most exciting thing at E3 for me, was PSO2.
Yeah.
I should say only for a couple of days. We've got more spam to take care of.
No!
It's just spam, don't worry.
I was mourning the loss of Kid Dracula, actually.
Man, it's fun, I guess, that my channel is important enough that it gets these now.
Yeah? Hey?
I've never had to deal with this much spam.
Silver linings. Oh
my god, they just keep coming.
Is there like a way to just preemptively filter that?
I don't know.
I don't know anything.
Oh god, I accidentally clicked on their link.
No!
Do not click those links, ladies and gentlemen.
Your laptop's gonna be possessed by a demon.
Oh man. This is just unfortunate. It's breaking my train of thought.
Savage gas.
Okay. More virus bots. I think I got them all for now. Miss Editor says, talk about Breath of the Wild 2. I'm going to bed soon. Do you want to go ahead and do that?
Yeah, of course.
So the very last thing that Nintendo showed off, they did one of those things where it's like, okay, we've got one more announcement. Switch.
Yeah. To really wham you in the end there.
Do you want to take point on this one?
I mean, it's Breath of the Wild 2. Of course it's super exciting. And...
See? You try to talk and you die. I know.
Yeah. You know, that was probably gonna happen anyway, but let's blame it on that. But, no, I'm super excited for it. I'm like a giant Zelda mark, and I love Breath of the Wild. And... I mean, I've seen online, they're saying it's gonna be darker than Majora's Mask.
I don't... Okay. Who's saying that?
I don't know, I think it was from an interview.
Okay.
I don't have the source, sorry.
I haven't heard that.
But yeah. But when they say, you know, darker than Majora's Mask was dark in a very, like, interesting and thematic way, and I would love to see another Zelda sequel be like that. Be super different.
Yeah,
so I don't know if they're saying it's gonna be like, is it gonna work? Like, man, how would you even do that? Like,
will Link say the F word? That's what I want to know.
Will Link say the F word? Like, is it just gonna be you exploring Hyrule again, but it's gonna be maybe all like dark and corrupted now?
Personally, I think Link should have a gun.
I think Link should have 2 guns.
But no, this direction for Breath of the Wild 2, like making a Majora's Mask style sequel in the same engine, is exactly what they should have done in this case. And I'm honestly a little surprised it took them this long to do it. I'm
swearing a blood oath of vengeance against that bat.
Indeed.
Let it be noted now. Someone give me a timestamp.
Like...
But I mean, I love Majora's Mask, so them saying, "Hey, we're gonna make a sequel in the vein of Majora's Mask," I'm like, hell yeah, I'm here for that. I'm really interested to see how it goes.
One thing I'm kind of interested to see though is how sort of like, assuming that it's still like a game very much in the vein of Breath of the Wild, where it's largely like open, you can tackle things in any order. Like, is the open world still going to be like the same world that from Breath of the Wild, but with changes and some like corrupted differences?
Or are we like, is it gonna be all underground or some shit? I don't know. I'm just spitballing.
I guess like one thing that I'll say, somebody points out Link did have a motorcycle in Breath of the Wild's DLC.
Guns are not impossible.
One thing I said I made a list of like...
Sorry.
I said I made a list of things that I didn't like so much about E3. I also made a list of things like the top 10 things I'm most hyped for, or happiest about, or happiest to see. And the Breath of the Wild sequel was number 10. And I feel like saying that
number 10?
Okay, I feel like putting it there kind of like sounds worse than it really is. The only reason it's so far down is honestly because like I feel like I don't really know anything about it other than it's happening.
That's true. But I mean, that little teaser they give you there is very provocative.
Like,
it's very exciting.
Breath of the Wild was one of my favorite games of 2017.
Oh yeah.
I played through it like 2 or 3 times, like in a row, basically after it came out. I freaking love Breath of the Wild,
Breath of the Wild is amazing.
Like, I'm really, really happy to see them take this approach. I'm really glad that it's not that it doesn't seem like it's going to be reinventing the wheel. Like, Breath of the Wild's biggest issues, kind of, were sort of the result of trying something so radically different.
Yeah.
Like, primarily here what I'm thinking is how similar all of the Divine Beast dungeons were.
Yeah.
Compared to, like, Ganon's Castle.
Mm-hmm.
Ganon's Castle, I think, is the perfect way to do a Zelda dungeon in an open world style game like that.
So yeah, if we can maybe like have more dungeons like that, that'd be really cool.
So that's exactly what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. Because I mean, I really like the Divine Beast dungeons. It's just, you know.
So I'm hoping that now that they sort of have the framework of how an open world game can work, and how an open world, well, I mean, Zelda was always sort of arguably open world, how a Breath of the Wild style Zelda game should operate, and how the mechanics work, and how the weapons work.
Yeah, hopefully they're just gonna like further refine it. Man, I was trying to be all strategic.
Like, I feel like this, like Majora's Mask, I would say, was not necessarily better than Ocarina of Time in a lot of ways, but it was very much a case of different than.
Yeah.
If this game takes that same approach, that's fine, but I feel like there's room for it to actually be better than. Yeah. And I'm saying that as somebody who counts Breath of the Wild as far and away my favorite Zelda game.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's ways it could have improved, you know.
So let's just run down the hits. I think we've talked about the bad stuff. We've talked about the. You've said the. My God.
You can do it.
See, this is what happens when I try to use bad words, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I never do it.
Yeah, your conscience catches up with you.
It does. I feel so bad. It's Father's Day. Dad taught me better than this. No, he didn't.
Your dad probably curses like a sailor.
So let's finish up by running down the things that we're hyped about.
Yeah.
So number 10 I said was the Breath of the Wild sequel. Number 9, and I know that this is a lot higher than number 9 for you, is Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Oh yeah, boy. That's way higher for me.
Your list is just my top whatever. You don't seem to have it ranked
I
in
wasn't
anyway.
sure what like the number would be.
But okay, higher than 9, you can say.
Yes.
So I think you should take point on this one because Animal Crossing is like one of your favorite things.
Oh my god, I love Animal Crossing so much. No, New Horizons looks great. Like, it looks like they're mixing stuff up. Like, they're gonna have this crafting mechanic. You can pole vault.
Over, like, if there's no bridge there, you can pole vault across the water.
It's revolutionary.
It's hilarious that in a game like Animal Crossing, the ability to jump over water.
Yeah.
Like, but I know what you mean. I'm not saying that in like a disparaging way. Like, because when I saw it too, I was like, oh my god, you can vault over the water!
Yeah.
This changes everything!
I got a game over.
Like...
Do you want to play something now?
No, you go ahead.
Okay.
I mean, play something else if you want to. I don't care.
I don't know. What else should we play?
Just go to the Switch. Go back to the home screen if you want to, and find something.
Okay.
There's quite a few games, you know.
I mean, we do have quite a few games.
There, you have options.
I don't know. Like, what are
Chat, what do
the people want to see?
What do the people want to see?
We're here for the people.
So to be clear, my position on like Animal Crossing, I loved the first one on the GameCube, but the main reason I loved it was because I loved collecting the NES games.
Yeah.
Like, I played quite a bit of it, like, on its own merits, but what ultimately kept me coming back was just the ability to play so many NES games, and to transfer them to the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
That was so freaking cool to me.
Yeah, okay. We'll play Castlevania 4.
Every time we go to the home screen, people scream about their eyes.
Well, I'll play Dark Souls right now. I'm not scared. I'm a little scared.
You should be scared.
Oh, yeah.
So, when the NES games were, like, unceremoniously removed from Wild World, the second Animal Crossing game that came out in the US, like, that just that killed my interest in it, basically. I love that it's Roman numerals. Woo!
Oh, yeah.
So, I skipped Wild World pretty much entirely. I think like, Kalen had it. I think I might have played it one time on his copy.
Yeah.
I skipped City Folk completely. And then, on a whim, like, when New Leaf came out, I was like, well, it doesn't have the retro games, but I haven't gotten a new 3DS game in a while. It's the start of summer. My car's broken. I'm a college student.
Yeah.
I guess I have nothing to lose. So I got New Leaf on a whim, and ended up getting super into it. Like, put over 100 hours into it.
Well, I think New Leaf is where, like, a lot of people first got into it big time, you know?
Probably so, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I got super big into it at Wild World.
So, I guess the thing, having said that, I'm not like a super hardcore Animal Crossing fan by any means. It's not my favorite Nintendo series. I don't think it would even rank in my top 10. But it is something that I can really get into and enjoy for a while.
Me, however, I get real crazy about Animal Crossing.
That being said, the thing that really that I'm most happy to see when it comes to New Horizons is that this is not at all just like another Animal Crossing game in the vein or the style of New Leaf.
Yeah.
Because my biggest concern with it was that it would be like New Leaf with a little bit more.
Yeah, that was my concern too.
Like, I don't feel like there's really a whole lot further that you can.
I do that for?
I don't feel like there's really a whole lot further you can take the concept after New Leaf.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to see that they're very, like, radically changing it, giving you this island setting, letting you decorate outside.
Yeah.
And you know, for the people, like, there are people who basically are only Nintendo fans because of Animal Crossing, or primarily because of that.
Yeah.
So, you know, especially for them too, I'm glad that they're finally, although I know that a few of them were upset that the game got delayed.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody said Animal Crossing gets boring to me after a while.
Yeah, I get that too.
We're definitely getting it. We're definitely getting New Horizons.
Of course.
Like, it was one of those cases, and it was almost the opposite of what happened with Sword and Shield, where with Pokemon Sword and Shield, like, I wasn't I was like, had this very baseline level of enthusiasm for it,
Yeah.
where like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to see what it's like. And then they did the Pokemon Direct, and I got to see a lot of what it was like, and then I was like, okay, I don't really know if this is like different enough, or I'm still pretty on the fence about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty excited for Sword and Shield. I mean, I don't know how I feel. Oh my fucking got it. I don't know how I feel about Dynamaxing just yet, but.
But yeah, you compare that to Animal Crossing, where like the same thing. I was like, okay, I don't know if this is gonna be good. I don't know if I'm gonna be hyped about this. And then I saw it, and I'm like, okay, yeah, they're doing a ton of things different. They're really taking it in a different direction while still sort of keeping the same framework. I'm definitely into this, and I'm definitely gonna get this.
Yeah, I mean, it's Animal Crossing. I would love it no matter what they do, unless they went into some weird dark and gritty reboot situation, I guess. But.
Animal Crossing needs to be post-apocalyptic.
Animal Crossing blood money.
Hey, arguably, there are theories that Animal Crossing is already post-apocalyptic.
There are that. It's pretty fascinating stuff. Ah! I forgot about Clubman.
All right, working our way down. Number 8 was Panzer Dragoon. We already talked about that.
Yeah.
Number 7 was Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair. We already talked about that.
Yeah.
Number 6 was Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
You're really excited about that.
Look, it doesn't really matter, like, how many times that they've reused, that they've told the same stories over and over and over again in video games.
Yeah.
I'm always up for another Dragon Ball fighting game.
I know you are.
Although this one's apparently supposed to be more of like an action RPG, sort of in the vein of like Xenoverse 2, I guess.
Yeah, which is more up my alley, I suppose.
Look, I mean, regardless, I guess one thing that's a little disappointing about it, probably, especially after Xenoverse 2, is that it seems like it's just gonna retell, like, the same... It seems like it's just gonna retell the stories from the anime again.
Yeah. But,
so,
you know, what else? What else are they gonna
when, like, the entire point of Xenoverse 2 was like, okay,
I can creep?
You can creep, yes.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Okay, so, to be clear, I've played more of Symphony of the Night and the more Metroidvania Castlevanias, so...
Yeah, I think you've beaten a lot of those.
Yeah, I have.
But, you're a little less experienced when it comes to these.
Yeah, like, you know, like a good normie.
Don't call yourself that.
I'm just kidding.
So, yeah, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, like, I don't think it's the kind of thing that's... I guess what the fun thing about Dragon Ball Z fighting games, and I guess this is going to be sort of a fighting RPG, I feel like it kind of is to fighting games what something like Sonic is to platformers.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is that it's sort of a spectacle fighter to a degree.
Yeah, it is. Like,
something like the Budokai Tenkaichi games. There's no other fighting game that plays quite like them. Yeah. Because of just the fact that they're sort of imitating the style of what the fight scenes were like in like the Dragon Ball Z manga and anime.
Just fucking go back.
With like flying and beam struggles and stuff like that.
Yeah, but you know, that's what the people love.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I love about them.
Well, yeah, of course.
I mean, again, this is probably another game that would be higher up if I knew a little more about it, though.
Yeah, they didn't really show much.
It was... We saw a little bit of gameplay, but it was mostly just a trailer, so...
Yeah.
But just on the promise of, like, okay, more Dragon Ball stuff.
Yeah.
I'm there for it.
Same.
Let me check the chat, make sure we're not getting any spam.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to know, did you know you can moonwalk upstairs?
No, I didn't know that. Is it faster?
Somebody had a good comparison here. Oh, there's the spam. There it is. I just... You picked a good time, spam bot. I was looking at the chat. So King Raikou says, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is Dragon Ball Z sagas made competently from the looks of it. Yeah, let's hope so. So, number 5, we've reached the middle of my most hyped list. That is going to be, and I know for people who like know my general feelings about JRPGs, this might be a little bit of a surprise. But number 5 is in fact the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Well, that's because it looks really great.
This kind of ties in with what I was talking about earlier about why it's very important to me that we actually see how gameplay and mechanics work.
Yeah.
Because, to be clear, Final Fantasy VII has a little bit of an unfair advantage for me in that I managed to play it while I was still a kid.
Horse.
Love those things. And So I have a degree of nostalgia for it, and I kind of played it at a time when I think that sort of my tastes in gaming weren't like very calcified at all.
Yeah, your deep-seated hatred of all things RPG.
That's an oversimplification.
I'm just kidding.
But no. So Final Fantasy VII just and plus like I know that it was very controversial at the time for sort of abandoning the fantasy side of Final Fantasy, but even then, that's definitely another reason that like it appealed to me.
Because you're a big medieval hater.
That's fair. I'll say that. Yeah, that's fair.
Why do you hate the Black Death? That's the first thing when I thought of when I said medieval. I'm so sorry.
I mean, should I not? Was there some redeeming part of it?
Arguably, you should hate the Black Death. Yes.
Okay. So, anyway, like I said, this is another example of where like, because if Final Fantasy VII Remake had just been like what I think some people even wanted it to be, which is like Final Fantasy VII, but it's the same game you remember, but it's pretty.
How the fuck do I?
Like that would have been like, okay, well, I'll check that out. I'll check that out for sure, but like I don't know if I'll ever actually like finish it or how interesting it'll be to me. But man, seeing like how much they've added to it, seeing like how I think they've talked about how the story and the characters themselves are going to be more nuanced and more like they're going to get more individual focus.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Final Fantasy VII, as much as it blew minds at the time, it was really a very poorly translated game.
But at the same time, I don't want this like big fancy remake to lose like the inherent goofy weirdness that Final Fantasy VII has.
I still want Cloud to say, "Let's mosey." Yeah.
I'm scared. I'm just a little scared they're gonna make it very over the top, very dramatic.
Very much like Advent Children was.
Oh my god, yeah, that would be a problem.
No, like I was in high school when Advent Children came out, and I remember being like, "Oh man, this is gonna be great! Like more Final Fantasy VII stories."
Yeah.
And then we watched it in Anime Club. Yeah, I was in Anime Club. Of course I was.
That's because you were the coolest person.
I know. And we watched it, and I was just like, man, that wasn't anything like...
It wasn't.
It didn't really seem to capture the essence of what I liked about the game at all.
Really great AMV fodder, though.
I guess. Put your Linkin Park songs to it. The scene where everybody's throwing Cloud up higher and higher. That was pretty goofy. That was pretty hype. But like the story and the characters and Cloud being all constant angsty.
Right. Like, he had kind of grown beyond that.
Like, I don't think that you can really fairly... I think they're aware of that. I don't think you can remake the game itself without keeping some of those very famous elements. Like, the part...
I just want Wall Market to be exactly the same.
How can you do Wall Market seriously?
Okay, maybe not exactly the same.
No, it can be... It can have the same general plot beats, that's fine. But that's what I'm saying. How do you keep that? How do you keep something like Wall Market in there and also have Cloud be this angsty badass?
I mean, you kind of just can't. Is that a platform? Okay, that's background art. Oh!
That, however, is not a pit you can jump into. But yeah, so
any pit is technically a pit you can jump into.
Well, not in Survive. So yeah, I'm having seen the gameplay now. I'm really, really looking forward to it.
It does look really great. Legit.
A lot of people are upset that it's going to be episodic.
Yeah, I'm not actually the biggest fan of that either. Square Enix seems to be on an episodic games kick. Or they at least tried it with Mafia and it failed horribly.
And also...
Not Mafia.
What?
Hitman, I'm sorry.
And as far as the combat itself being different, in terms of it being like a modern-day Final Fantasy action RPG kind of thing, instead of turn-based combat... I guess what I would say to that is, and admittedly, like, I'm not by no means a big fan of turn-based combat in general. There are always exceptions, but
Persona 5.
I'm definitely biased when it comes to this. But like, the main thing I guess that I would be worried about when it comes to something like this is that it's just going to be like a sort of a beautification of the old game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want this to be something that can replace the old game, because, like, there's nothing, like, just making it prettier wouldn't really fundamentally change it that much.
I mean, it's gonna have to be kind of different.
So I'm happy to see that if they're gonna put this, as hyped as people are about this, and as long as people have wanted this, that they're doing something very different with it. And like, the original version will still be there and still have a place and still have like a reason that people will look back on it and play it.
Yeah, exactly.
Checking on the chat.
Hello, the chat.
Making sure nobody's spamming viruses.
Be kind, people.
So, number 4, and this is something that was not actually at E3, but it's something that I've been wanting to talk about. Number 4 is Super Mario Maker 2, which comes out in, geez, like 12 days, I think?
Man, yeah, it's really soon.
I don't think they talked about this at E3 at all, just because I think they've revealed pretty much everything that they want to reveal about it.
Yeah.
But that's just something, like, I played the original Mario Maker. I am not, like, a creator, but if you guys know Kovar, who was, like, you know, everybody's favorite part of the Metroid Other M episode, Super Mario Maker might be, like, his favorite game of all time. He loves it so much. And he is a creator, and he is, like... What I liked about it was just that it was a never-ending, like, series of Mario levels, basically.
Yeah.
Like, I loved
all the weird shit people made.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of creativity.
And I think that the tools and the increased scope of Mario Maker 2, I am just really, really looking forward to it. And the fact that the Switch just inherently has such a much larger user base than the Wii U.
Yeah.
Which will probably, like, you know, give you a lot more stuff to play.
Oh, yeah.
The one thing I'm disappointed about is the lack of amiibo costumes.
I really don't appreciate this game making me hurt birds.
Well, you wouldn't.
I would.
So yeah, do you have anything to say about Mario Maker 2?
It looks good. I'm excited for it.
Really, really hyped about co-op, of course.
Oh, yeah. And then they actually have where you can play the multiplayer mode with your friends now, so...
Oh, yeah, there was, like, a big controversy earlier this month where, like, they said you wouldn't be able to play multiplayer online... Or you would only be able to play multiplayer co-op online with random people for some reason.
Yeah, that was... Oh, shit.
But it came out just a couple days ago that they've reconsidered that position and they'll be adding
because it was a
multiplayer with friends.
It was a very strange position to have.
I mean, Nintendo's whole approach to online tends to be a very strange position to have.
I haven't quite got it figured out yet.
So, number 3, and this is something that was very much at E3. This was probably, like, if Keanu Reeves was the defining moment of Microsoft's press conference, then this was, like, the undercurrent of everything that Microsoft had to talk about. And that's Game Pass.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it seemed like every big, like, first-party release they had, everything that they wanted to talk about, they'd always have that little thing in the corner, like, coming to Game Pass day 1.
Yeah. And Game Pass is really cool. It's a really good deal. There's a lot of good stuff on it.
And they also announced it was coming to PC.
Yeah, with Game Pass Ultimate.
Yeah, well,
yeah, you
not
can
just... Yeah, you it's like $15 a month, gets you Xbox Live Gold and Game Pass for both the Xbox and the PC.
Yeah, it's a really good deal, because there's a ton of good shit on there.
We're gonna get to like questions here in a bit, but one question that I've already been asked was very much related to this. From the Discord server. There it is. Hope from the Geek Critique Discord wanted to know, do you think that this E3 might change the tide of the console war in favor of Microsoft? So, I think that if you're talking about this particular console war, it's way too late for the Xbox One.
Oh, yeah.
The Xbox One got off to a really horrible start. Don Matrick's whole idea of, like, let's bundle it with the Kinect, and then all the controversy they had back in its announcement when they wanted to make it, like, always online.
Yeah, oh my god, that did a lot of damage. That they're not going to be able to fix.
The Xbox One was never totally going to be able to recover from that.
No.
And then they had the whole situation where, like, even as they've course corrected, and I think they've done an excellent job course correcting, like, they figured out that people don't want to buy an Xbox One to watch TV on it.
No.
And they've done a really good job course correcting, but even now,
hurts so bad.
even now, their problem has become, basically, PS4 just has so many more exclusives.
Yeah. But then, like, I don't know. I feel like they're doing really well setting up for the next generation because Game Pass is a really amazing deal. They've got all these new third-party developers under their belt.
Well, they've been buying up a lot of developers.
Yeah. Like, they've got Double Fine.
Yeah,
stuff
that was
like
crazy.
That. Yeah, which I think is really good for them.
Like,
I'm happy about it.
Like, one thing that's really gonna make
Oh my god!
I've never seen this deep into the game, by the way.
No, me neither.
I always stop playing it before I get too deep because I'm like, I'm gonna want to play it for the Geek Critique.
Yeah.
Like, it would be one thing if Game Pass was like, hey, like, you get like access to a bunch of old games.
Yeah.
But like the way that they're positioning it is like you're gonna get like all these like big AAA games that they've been hyping up. Like I'm pretty sure Cyberpunk is gonna be on Game Pass day one.
Yeah, I think so. I know. I think Wolfenstein. And Doom Eternal. Maybe one of those.
Like a lot of their like especially Microsoft Game Studios exclusives launch day one on Game Pass, and they've kind of responded to the whole thing of like, okay, PS4 has better exclusives by actually just de-emphasizing the importance of exclusives on the Xbox One platform itself through the Play Anywhere initiative. And this is something that like I've wanted to see basically for like 10 plus years.
Yeah.
Is the concept of like being able to buy a game on like and play it on both Xbox One and PC. And just having, like, your cloud saves transfer automatically. Like, both ways are completely...
I can hurt the fire!
Yeah.
This is a glorious day! I didn't know you could hurt the fire.
Well, now you know. So, yeah. Bottom line is, very impressed with Game Pass. As far as, like, turning the console wars around for Microsoft... Like I said, it's too late for the Xbox One.
Yeah.
It's not... They're never going to catch up to the PS4 now. But I don't think they're really trying to.
Yeah, but Project Scarlet, I think...
But I think...
be starting out pretty strong.
Between Game Pass and, like, the studios that they're acquiring and the games that they're making, they're putting themselves in a much, much stronger position for the next generation.
Oh, yeah.
And I know we haven't really talked about Project Scarlet, and that's mostly just because
there's really
not
much to...
Kind of like the we know even less about that than we do about the Breath of the Wild sequel.
Yeah. We know that it can run at 120 FPS, and that's about it.
Yeah, and PC gamers sitting over here with their 144 hertz monitors like, wow, 120, is that all?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, like I said, I think Microsoft is positioning themselves a lot better. Game Pass is a really, really good deal. Like, I've had it for probably the better part of a year now, and like having it come to PC, it was sort of softly on PC already. You could play a couple of games like Sea of Thieves and Forza Horizon 4 on PC already through Game Pass. But yeah, actually having like a dedicated PC library looks really good. I mean, it shows that Microsoft doesn't like they're de-emphasizing the importance of the individual platform.
Yeah, they're showing that they want to evolve.
And emphasizing like this, like I guess they're making their walled garden a little less walled.
Yeah.
And that's just really, really good to see, if you ask me. Yeah.
So they're making good strides.
Number 2 on my list of most hyped things I was most hyped about at E3, in or around E3, I guess, was Phantasy Star Online 2, which, oh my god, we've already talked about it, but I just need to freak out about it again.
Oh, it's really exciting. Oh, no!
Okay, I think you're done. I think I'll take it over for you. I need to switch something around. Entertain the people for a moment while I do that.
Oh, okay.
You chat, speculate about what you think number 1 might be. It's really hard to figure out.
Obviously, it's gonna be Elder Scrolls 6.
It's Elder Scrolls Blades, actually.
Oh my god, you're just like the biggest Elder Scrolls head. Like, I'm like, baby, please just stop talking about Elder Scrolls, and he just won't stop. Oh, there's more spam. What do I do? Help.
Click the little settings button next to it and say hide user from channel.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, they're gone. Sorry about that, guys. So, yeah. How's everybody doing tonight?
You could go over the things you're most hyped about.
Yeah, but
You have a list.
the things that I'm most hyped about, you're also most hyped
Well,
about.
see if there's something on your list that wasn't on mine.
Fine. Oh, I'm really excited about Outer Worlds. A lot of the guys who made the original Fallout games are working on it, and I'm really excited about it. Because I love Obsidian, and I love Fallout New Vegas, so I trust them to make a really cool Fallout-esque game. Oh, Luigi's Mansion 3. Yeah, Josh doesn't like Luigi's Mansion for whatever reason, but I'm really excited about it. Gooigi for Smash. That's what I'm saying.
I'm on board with Gooigi. I might not enjoy the gameplay of Luigi's Mansion too much, but Gooigi is alright. Gooigi I can get into.
Yeah, Gooigi. Yes. I put... No More Heroes 3! Come on, that's a big one.
Yeah, oh man, you were really hyped about that.
Oh my god, I was so excited. Like, after Travis Strikes Again, you know, I was pretty sure they were setting up for another mainline title. So, super excited about that. Whew. Oh yeah, Glow in the Dark Antlers did look cool. What was that one?
Oh yeah,
Wood
I
in the
remember
Woods. Yeah, that looked really neat. I mean, I'm a big fan of animals and a big fan of games, so put those two things together, you know.
I see somebody pointing out it's funny that the number 2 thing I was most hyped about was a game that's been out in Japan since 2012.
Yeah.
That says a lot about who I am as a person, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly.
Aw, somebody says, I like you already because Josh likes you and I trust Josh.
Aw, I like you guys. You're so nice.
No, Alicia is wonderful. Thank you for doing this with me.
Aw, no problem.
You were playing Castlevania very well.
Yeah, look at me.
Considering the circumstances.
I mean, I know 4 is relatively easy because of the giant whip, but you know, I was proud of myself.
So, more than Phantasy Star Online 2, which I thought nothing could beat that. Nothing could possibly match my surprise and my glee and my excitement and how hyped I was about PSO2. And then Nintendo's conference happened, and my god, I should have known.
Yeah, we should have known. We should have heard the whispers on the nighttime wind.
Now, admittedly, there were reasons to sort of suspect this. Like, I was never expecting to see PSO. Mm-hmm. I was never expecting to see Panzer Dragoon.
Yeah.
Or Commander Keen, unfortunately. But there were some reasons to sort of think that this might be possible.
Yeah.
Even that being said, even though there was a big part of me that was like, I think this might actually be happening. My god, they couldn't have done it any better.
Yeah, they really couldn't have. Even throwing in that cute fake out.
That's right. Just Dance 2020 coming out for the Wii.
Thank God.
Like, it's amazing to me that a console that came out on November 19th, 2006 is still being supported to this day. Ubisoft, you are gods among men.
Listen, if Grandma wants to dance to Bad Romance, she should be able to do that. And I say God bless her.
No, of course, what I'm actually talking about.
I think it's pretty obvious.
What? They might not know. Maybe somebody's just listening to this. Maybe they are not looking at the game on screen. The actual answer is, of course, Banjo-Kazooie in Smash Brothers. Oh my goodness. So I said they couldn't have done it any better. Here's what I mean by that. So the trailer starts up, and it's not like your typical character trailer where, like, you see, like, Link sword fighting, or we haven't even talked about the hero from Dragon Quest being in Smash.
I'm really excited about the hero in Smash. I like Dragon Quest, but, you know, this guy.
We'll circle back to that, because I have some things to say about that, too.
We will.
So the trailer starts off, and it's like a repeat of the trailer that King K. Rool had. Mm-hmm. Now, this was automatically, as soon as that happened, there was such a huge part of me that was like, oh my god, it's real.
Yeah. And
that's because of the influence of like, DK Vine, and their persistent belief in Rare's shared universe. Like, their whole idea of the Donkey Kong universe. like the Donkey Kong and Banjo-Kazooie and Conker's Bad Fur Day, and all of these games sort of take place within the same shared universe, and that's what they cover. So immediately, as soon as that comes up, I know some people were like, "Oh, that means another villain's getting added." That was also a very valid guess. But for me, seeing like a repeat of the K. Rool trailer immediately put my mind on Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean when I say they couldn't have done it any more perfectly. Because this wasn't just like your typical character trailer where like they show up and they save somebody, or like you see their setting and then you see them. This was like, it starts out the exact same way as the K. Rool trailer, except now K. Rool is hanging out with Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
In DK's treehouse.
It's really cute.
The animations are so freaking on. Like, I've watched this trailer probably like 20 plus times at this point.
With
and
religious fervor, yes.
Yes. And I'm still noticing new stuff about it. Like, I love how when they slam their heads, and when the Kongs and K. Rool all slam into the window, DK and K. Rool spend just a second, like trying to push each other out of the way to take up more of the frame. But the fact that they would actually, like, acknowledge this connection between the Donkey Kong series and the Banjo-Kazooie series... Oh, thank you.
No, bro. You keep going.
That they would actually, like, acknowledge that, like, is so freaking, like... Say hi, user on this channel. That's just so freaking amazing to me. That's so, like... It kind of feels like the past 20 plus years of my fandom, like, stretching probably all the way back to, like, Diddy Kong Racing, where Banjo debuted and sort of this whole idea was established. Like, it makes me feel a little vindicated. Because people for so long were like, oh, like... And one thing that I think makes it all the more crazy is that Banjo-Kazooie was kind of designed as a Nintendo IP and as a Nintendo mascot. Like, Rare made this game, but Nintendo published it. And there was a time, a very brief period of time, where, like, you would see Banjo-Kazooie merchandise and plushies and renders alongside, like, Link and Mario and Donkey Kong and, like, the whole rest of the cast. So, like, for people like me who grew up in the N64 years and were around for that, this just feels like... I don't think it's ever been more apt than it is right now to say that it's like your parents getting back together after a divorce. It feels... It just feels like something that's been out of whack about the world for so long that you've even gotten used to it, and now it's made whole again, and now it's right, and this is the way it should be.
Yeah, it's really...
And that's how it feels to me, and I'm so happy.
Yeah, it's really surprising this didn't happen sooner, honestly. I mean, I know it was probably some nebulous, strange, like, you know, who owns what situation, but I'm just glad it's happened now.
Somebody said start playing already. All right.
He's getting in there.
Just erase this game.
He just had to get emotional for a second.
I did. So tell me about your... and for somebody like Kyle Russell of DKVine.com, like, as much as crazy as this is to me, like, Kyle has dedicated his whole life to this. Like, like the
chronicling the entirety of the shared Donkey Kong universe.
So, like, as amazing as this feels to me, I'm really hyped to hear how it feels to him.
Yeah.
And I know they released, like, a live reaction video, and he's like, as soon as you see that puzzle piece bounce across DK's treehouse, like, he stands up and grabs somebody's hand.
Yeah, it's really precious.
A lot of people are saying Rare replay on Switch 2, please. Yeah, that's something, like...
Oh, yeah, that needs to happen.
If Banjo in Smash is all we get, that's honestly, like, great, like, still fine by me. Oh, man, I accidentally said I wanted Bottles training. Oh, I don't need that at all. Oh, well. Actually, no, I'm gonna start over.
No, you forgot how to play the game.
I don't know how to play Banjo-Kazooie.
You never knew. You've been lying this whole time.
Let's see. But no, what I was saying was, like, even if Banjo and Smash is all that comes out of this, that's honestly more than I could have even hoped for.
Yeah.
But I get the feeling, and I really hope, given what I was saying earlier about, like, Microsoft sort of de-emphasizing the importance of their individual platform and opening up that walled garden, I'm really hoping that this is just the beginning.
Yeah, me too. I really hope they're like putting out the feelers to maybe make another Kazooie adventure.
Because like something like Game Pass, like Microsoft talked a lot about their game streaming service as well.
Mm-hmm.
Something like Game Pass or like game streaming coming to the Switch, like our Xbox Live coming to the Switch for that matter, and it kind of already is in a sense because like Minecraft has achievements on
Yeah.
Switch.
Mm-hmm.
But like increasing that sort of thing, and like I said, dropping the walls of that walled garden more and more, God, that would be amazing. And yeah, rare replay on Switch, especially if that would allow them to include the Donkey Kong Country games. That would be so freaking great. Thank you to Callum Buddy who just donated $1.99 to the chat.
Shout out.
And they say, what can they even show for the DLC now? I'll get to that in a second. That's actually also something I kind of want to talk about. One funny thing about this, like, there are other Smash Brothers like characters I would like to see in Smash. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong.
Still holding out for you, Jill Valentine.
Jill Valentine, okay, that's wouldn't be on my list, but that's fine.
That's because you hate everything I love.
Probably the top of my list at this point might be... Okay, let me be clear. There are two types of DLC characters that I would consider. One is, like, more characters in a series that's already represented.
Yeah.
My number... Like, the only thing that would get me hyped, that would get me this hyped again, would be if, like, classic Sonic came to Smash Brothers. Yeah. And I know that I'm kind of... Like... I know I'm a bit, like, unique in that, maybe. Like, we have Sonic, why do we need classic Sonic? I get it. But, you know.
Oh, I would also be happy with Doom Guy, or Dante, from the Devil May Cry series.
Yeah, I want to be clear. Like, there's plenty of characters that I'd still really be happy with. And the top of that list, as far as something that's not already represented, would probably be Beautiful Joe.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But, honestly, there is nobody left that would really get me this hyped again. So that just tells you, like, how freaking, like, complete the Smash Brothers roster is at this point.
I want KK Slider in Smash.
That'd be fine. Look, like I said, there's plenty of people that I'd just be like, oh, cool. Okay, they probably deserve to be there. That's gonna be fun. I'm interested to see how they play. But in terms of, like, nostalgic, like, properties are things that, like I said earlier, to me, like, Banjo-Kazooie not being in Smash Brothers has felt like they were missing all this time, you know?
Yeah. And also, it is extremely weird that it took this long for Dragon Quest to get a representation in Smash.
Alright, sure, yeah, let's circle... Because I feel like a lot of people outside of Japan were like saw, like, Dragon Quest was gonna be in it, and kind of had this attitude of, like, so what?
Yeah. But,
like,
I mean, Dragon Quest is a huge deal in Japan, and has been for, like, a long time.
Dragon Quest is, like, a cultural phenomenon in Japan. Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure... Is this true? I've heard this before. Mm-hmm. Like, they have to schedule Dragon Quest games to come out on the weekends because if they don't, people just skip work or something.
I heard that too, but I don't know if that's actually true. Might be another one of those, like, oh, those wacky Japanese people type things.
Well, maybe. But the point is, Dragon Quest is, like, on, like, it's probably one of the, and I'm saying this as somebody who's never been to Japan. I have a friend who lives in Japan, but... So if I'm getting something wrong here, let me know. But as far as what I've heard and as far as what I've seen, Dragon Quest is, like, an absolutely iconic series. Not even in terms of, like, Japanese video gaming, but just in Japanese culture almost.
Yeah.
Like, that's how ingrained it is. So, yeah, having Dragon Quest Heroes be in Smash Brothers, like, from that perspective... It would absolutely be very well deserved, and I'm happy they're in. And I think that despite the fact that, you know, you can say, oh, it's another sword character, like, the idea of them playing completely differently,
yeah,
like the way that, like, it looks like you're actually gonna have some sort of a turn-based menu system.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
To the way that you do your spells, I'm really interested to see how that works out.
Yeah, it's just Dragon Quest was a long time coming, and I'm glad they have a character now.
Yeah, somebody in the chat pretty much says, this is how I feel about it. I don't know much about Dragon Quest, but the hero looks really interesting in his moveset.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I've never been, like, a fan of Fire Emblem. I've never been able to, like, get into Fire Emblem as, like, I've played it a couple of times, but it's just not, like, real-time strategy isn't my kind of game. Mm-hmm. But Martha's one of my favorite characters in Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't really... like, I'm a fan of Smash Brothers inherently. I've said before I'd be a fan of it even if it was just, like, more generic fighters or, like, original characters or something. Though, of course, like, the crazy crossover potential of it is a tremendous part of the appeal, too. But yeah, even if it's a series I don't care about, I'm still interested to see how they play. And like, I guess it was just a little bit disheartening to see so many people just be like, why do they deserve to get in? No, who even cares about Dragon Quest?
When they have a huge fucking history, and I mean, they probably shaped what JRPGs have become.
Oh, they absolutely did, yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very.
So they
influential
absolutely
series.
deserve to be there. 110%.
But yeah, like I said, nothing at E3 was ever going to beat Banjo-Kazooie being in Smash Brothers, and indeed, it may be a very long time before anything beats that again for me.
Oh, and shout out to Dragon Quest XI because it's really great.
Yeah, Dragon Quest is a series, like, I've watched you play it plenty, but it's, I can watch you play it, and I can just be like, I don't think would really be my kind of game. But that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. That's like, you can appreciate, like, this is sort of something I was talking about with Earthbound a little bit earlier. You can appreciate, I think that people need to, like, give a little more credit to appreciating how important a game is, or how influential it is, or how much other people enjoy it. Like, you don't have to be able to have fun with a game to, like, respect it, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh man, somebody just mentioned Geno. Okay, Geno would get me. Geno admittedly wouldn't quite be on this level, but it would be. Honestly, this surprises me. Am I sure about this? Yes, I am. If I could choose between Geno and Classic Sonic, I would pick Geno.
Yeah.
Just because I think Mario RPG deserves that, and I like it that much.
Yeah, it's another one of those games where it just seems really weird that it's never gotten a character, I guess.
And yeah, somebody in the chat, Omega fan, saying, like, talking about how they didn't know much about Persona before Joker.
Woohoo!
Like, that's exactly what's, like, really great about Smash Brothers, is that it might introduce you to these characters, or these worlds, or these games that, like, you might not otherwise pay a lot of attention to.
But if you guys want to talk about Persona, I'm here for you.
Well, we'll get to the question. We'll get to the Q&A section momentarily.
Why don't we just turn this into a Persona stream? That's what I think.
I don't think I could really. I don't think I could really, in good faith, participate in that.
But yeah, a character getting in Smash always means they're gonna get a ton of attention.
And I know some people who were a little too young to play Banjo-Kazooie in its day, who were like, I don't know anything about Banjo. I was hoping for Minecraft Steve. And then, of course, you get people who are screaming at those people, being like, what, Minecraft Steve? That doesn't... just... No, Minecraft Steve would be fine, too. Minecraft is another game that's, like, super influential and, was a super, super big deal for an entire generation. And why wouldn't they want it to get in?
I mean, would I rather see other characters before Minecraft Steve? Yeah. But that's just me.
It should be understood that every time we say Steve, even if you don't hear it, there is a question mark after that. DQ slimes and as this trophy. But I think
Persona 4 is so good. Sorry.
I think that we've said everything that we want to say about E3 inherently.
Yeah.
So I think we should move on now to the question portion of the stream. And we're going to start that off with some questions from the Geek Critique Discord. You can join the Geek Critique Discord by becoming a supporter on Patreon. That also gets you other perks, most notably early access to episodes as they're completed instead of having to wait for the entire season to be finished. We have a lot of fun in the Discord, good topics of conversation. I try to come up with questions every so often, and yeah, there's a lot of good times to be had there.
Good, clean fun.
It is, actually.
You bring your egg creams, bring your mom,
Oh, I don't have eggs yet. I guess I should do that. Let me look over here. So, the first question comes from JDude93, who says, what are you most excited for this E3? JDude93, that's what we've been talking about.
That happened in the past.
I think he said that before E3 even happened.
Okay.
So, JJu93 also asks, when were you introduced to E3 in general? So I'll let you answer this one first.
Man, I probably watched my first one like 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've been watching every year for a long time. What's the first one I can really remember, though, is probably when they announced the Wii, I think.
Like 2005, Satoru Iwata talking about how it's going to be even, like, the size of like, 3 DVD boxes stacked on top of each other.
Yeah. Because I remember when they first showed the Revolution.
Right, it was still called the Revolution at the time.
I remember seeing that, so, God, I've been watching for a very long time.
The first E3 I can remember was, in fact, the first one. 1995, although
Ooh.
I didn't understand the significance of it at all, for sure.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'd only been, like, playing games for about a year. I was, like, very much... I was always buying, like, video game magazines and reading up on news and stuff like that. But to me, it was just another trade show.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really understand the significance of having a trade show that was just for video games at the time.
Yeah.
So, like, it was kind of like Nintendo Space World, CES. Like, it seemed like stuff like that was always happening, so... the first one I can remember watching was probably... Actually, the same one you watched.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because, like, we still had dial-up internet in 2005. That was horrible. But...
Whenever... God, did they show that one on fucking G3?
G3?
I mean, G4, I'm sorry! That's how long it's been.
Yeah, they probably did by then, but we also didn't have G4.
Yeah, because we had G4, because that's where I watched, like, E3 forever.
Well, let me tell you how I saw it. I saw it by going to GameStop and buying E3 on DVD.
Yes! The future is now!
So... Brigus wanted to know, did we actually need an E3 this year? I'm guessing that they were let down or disappointed by the news that came out. In my book, yes. Actually, we were talking about this right before E3 happened.
Yeah.
Like, I was saying that besides Mario Maker 2 and maybe, like, one other game, I didn't feel particularly like there was a lot I was looking forward to.
Yeah.
After E3, no, it's totally turned around. Now I can't even hold in my brain all of the things that I'm looking forward to and hyped about and excited to play.
Exactly. I mean, I guess you could argue everyone could maybe go the way of Nintendo and everyone could have their own, like, little direct. And then maybe E3 wouldn't happen. But, like... But, you know, there's a lot more to E3 than just the conferences.
See, that's the thing. That's something that Heil, I think it was Heil was talking about, actually, is that E3 is not the conferences.
Yeah, exactly.
E3 is the trade show that happens that week after the conferences.
Yeah.
But if you're not there, then to you, E3 is the conferences.
Yeah.
So... I mean, I still, like, E3 is, like, gaming Christmas to a degree, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I think that it is very good for the industry to continue to have its own trade show.
Yeah.
But I also think that it's perfectly okay for, like, some developers or some companies to set it out sometimes.
Yeah.
And, here, of course, this year, that was Sony.
Rest in peace.
That's what people
no, I'm just kidding.
No, I know that's what people were saying, like... Sony set out E3. E3's not going to be necessary in the future. E3 is, like, going downhill, but...
I don't think that's true.
I think the reason Sony set out E3 was just because all they have to talk about is the PS5, and they're not ready to talk about it yet.
Yeah.
So, since they didn't really have anything to show, they just set it out. Like, I'm completely positive that Sony's going to be back in full force next year.
Oh, yeah.
So...
I mean, they're gearing up for a new console...
Man, from my perspective, it just doesn't seem like very long at all since the Xbox One and PS4 came out, you know?
It really doesn't. I feel like we've got at least another, like, 5 years of these systems, but I know that's not true, you know?
Well, if it goes the way it did last time, we will have quite a bit more time, like...
Oh, yeah. Although I don't know how I feel about, you know, developers making games for the older hardware and the newer hardware, because that just didn't seem to go well.
But that's exactly what they did, like...
I know.
Xbox 360 and PS3 games continued to come out into, like, for, like, 2 years or more.
I know.
Like, Metal Gear Solid 5 came out on 360, PS3, PS4, Xbox One.
It just seemed to hold back a lot of the early releases.
It did for sure, and I also hope that doesn't happen so much this time.
Or they do it, I don't know, do it better somehow. Just...
Let's see here. We answered Hope's question earlier. Dread Lily wanted to know, what's your take on obtuse press conferences from E3? Particularly those like Devolver Digital and their Trauma-esque presentation. I actually have no idea what they're asking here.
I don't know what trauma-esque means. I'm so sorry.
So, as far as obtuse press conferences go, I guess they're asking, like, about press conferences from companies other than sort of like the major players.
Yeah.
Like Ubisoft Ubisoft to me is like it's a third-party developer, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's a little weird that they try to have like a press conference.
But I mean, they're one of the bigger third-party developers.
They are for sure. I know. I know Assassin's Creed is a really big deal.
Juggernaut.
Yeah.
For better or worse.
So, I mean, like I said, we didn't watch everything. We watched Microsoft, Square, and Nintendo.
Yeah.
Like, but
Square Enix. We watched Square Enix.
Oh yeah, I said that. I just called them Square.
Oh, you said Square. I'm sorry.
I'm old. I still call them Square. Squaresoft, right? I don't think there's anything wrong. Like, if I was big into like a property like Elder Scrolls or something like that, then for sure I'd want to watch Bethesda's.
Yeah, but they didn't even really show anything from Elder Scrolls 6.
Well, true, but I'm just saying.
But you don't know that in the past.
Put it this way, if Sega had a press conference, I would be there.
Oh, you would.
So I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Like,
Nah.
it's just, they're never going to get the kind of attention that, like, the big boys have. And that's fine. Omega Fan 101, who is also, I believe, here in the chat, wanted to know, is there anything you were expecting / hoping for that wasn't revealed?
I was expecting them to show more Metroid Prime stuff, but also they probably don't have anything to show.
I kind of wasn't for exactly that reason.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just kind of expected maybe like a 2-second teaser or whatever.
Maybe, yeah.
It's not a big deal. I expected to see more, I suppose.
I figured since they so recently, like, restarted development on it, like, as far as we know, like, 6 months ago or so, they're not gonna have any, like, much to show for it yet.
I'm sure they'll have, like, a Nintendo Direct about it.
And plus, you know how, like we were talking earlier, Nintendo, like, wants to show gameplay. They wouldn't want to just show another teaser.
Yeah, exactly.
This ant needs to get out of my way so I can collect these notes.
Why don't you give him a kiss on the cheek?
I did already. It didn't help.
Right in front of me.
I mean, Banjo, as a termite, gave him a kiss on this cheek.
I have to leave now, I'm sorry.
As for me, things I was sort of expecting or hoping to see, one thing that comes to mind, so Konami has been doing, and I know it's, like, it's weird to say anything positive about Konami at all, but Konami has been doing a pretty good job of releasing, like, retro collections of their old games lately.
Yeah, that Castlevania collection that we played earlier, it's really great.
Yeah, it's
oh my god, it's so many games.
It's really well done.
And they're really just beautifully,
So one
emulated.
thing that I would like to see anyway would be a Metal Gear Solid collection.
Oh yeah.
Like bringing, I guess, 4 especially. 4 needs to get the hell off the PS3 already.
Yeah, kind of left that one behind, huh?
But as from what I've heard, like 4 is so specifically designed for like Cell, for the PS3 Cell processor.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That it would be a lot of work to do it. But nonetheless, I mean, like porting, 1, 2, and 3 to like modern day consoles, like that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
I'd love to have them on Switch for sure.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anything else that I was sort of expecting or hoping to. I feel like I had a better answer for this.
I feel like I'm forgetting stuff too.
But I'm having maybe something will jog my memory.
Yeah.
I guess one thing might be just like, I know this is something that a lot of people were disappointed by about Microsoft's conference, was nothing new from Rare.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Battletoads. They're co-developing Battletoads, but we already knew about that.
People wanted Banjo-Kazooie.
People wanted Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
And they got it with Nintendo, so,
So, hope's alive.
Hope is definitely... Like, I do definitely feel like the mere fact that... mere fact, like it's no big deal. The fact that Banjo-Kazooie is in Smash and will be introduced to, like, a couple of generations that have missed out on the series through Smash makes it so much more likely. So that's very exciting. The last question from the Discord. was actually, I don't know if this is sort of only tangentially related to E3. Scribe wanted to know thoughts on the design of the updated third-party Dreamcast controller that Retrobit is making as part of their collaboration with Sega. And this was actually the first time that I saw this. So this is like...
It's really neat.
Like, for a second I thought it was like that Fighter Pad company, because I did hear about that.
Mm-hmm.
And we've known for like a year and a half now that Retrobit was going to be making new Dreamcast controllers, like in the original style, and make them Bluetooth compatible and stuff. But what this is, if you haven't seen it, and let me link this tweet in the chat room, this is like a Dreamcast controller with everything that I didn't like about the Dreamcast controller fixed.
Mm-hmm.
It has a... And if they can pull this off, this is just going to be so freaking good.
Yeah.
It has a Sega Saturn-style D-pad, which fixes, like, probably the biggest flaw of the Dreamcast controller right there, in my opinion. I know a lot of people don't like the sticks. And it has, where the Dreamcast had, like, what's become the standard 4-button controller layout, it has the Sega Saturn 6-button layout. So, yeah. Thank you for showing me this, Scribe. I'm really looking forward to it now. I've been a little disappointed that Retrobit takes so freaking long. Like, we knew about these the remakes of the original controllers like a year and a half ago, and now I think the Bluetooth versions are coming out in like November. But nonetheless,
yeah.
If that thing comes out and is as good as it looks, I'm there for it.
It's really neat.
That's it for the Discord segment. So, you guys who are still in the chat, it's getting a little late. We've been at this for we still have 224 people!
Aww!
Thank you so much for sticking with us!
You guys are the best!
So, we're gonna wrap up right now by taking your questions.
Taking your
So,
questions.
ask us anything. Try to keep it on topic of E3, but if you don't, we'll probably allow some leeway there.
Yeah, we will.
And I'm gonna be focusing on playing the game, so you should be the one to check out the chat.
It's the musical Dreamgirls when music peaked and also the best movie of all time.
Don't know, never seen it.
I've never seen it either. When did music peak, however?
When did music peak?
When did music as a concept peak? I think right around Come On and Slam and Welcome to the Gym. I think right around there.
I would say 2 years after, when ska was so big. Like 1998, when inexplicably ska trumpets were really in.
Here we go.
The other answer would of course be 2017, when the Sonic Mania soundtrack was created.
Good answer. They're coming in so fast, oh god. Do you see one?
Well, I mean, just... Oh god, they are coming in fast. Okay, give us a
What
second.
is your favorite Rare game? That's simple.
My favorite Rare game, Donkey Kong Country 2.
Mine's definitely Banjo-Kazooie. I'm obvious.
Number 2 for me is probably Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah, that's fair.
Let's see. How do you feel about the fact that Sonic Robo Blast 2 2.2 is supposedly coming out this year? I hadn't heard that, but that's cool. I mean, I've been keeping up with Sonic Robo Blast 2 since, like, I'm pretty sure one of the first releases. Like, I remember it being crazy. Oh my god, a 3G fan game. Caleb Roberts wants to know, without going into much detail, how would you rank the Banjo series, GBA included? I have played the GBA version, but I don't feel like I've really played it enough to fairly rank it. And thank you for saying without going into much detail, because spoilers, after Shadow, this might be next. I've got it narrowed down to like 3 ideas. So, without going into much detail, and keeping in mind that this might change if I actually do play it for the channel, because just the chance to like look at the games again and look at them in more detail. But as of right now, I would say number 1 is easily Banjo-Kazooie.
Cool, yeah.
Number 2... Number 2, I guess I'd still have to say Banjo-Tooie over Nuts and Bolts. And number 3 is Nuts and Bolts. But... with that being
basically release order.
Release order, yeah. They got worse as they went along. Yeah. But you know, the thing about Tooie, I don't want to go into too much detail. I'm gonna save that. So what's your order, by the way?
Jeez, I mean, I never really played much beyond Banjo-Kazooie.
So number 1, Banjo-Kazooie. Devin Craig says, how do you feel about Doom Eternal, and what's your experience with the Doom series?
Oh, I'm super excited for Doom Eternal. I mean, I never played, like, a lot of the classic Dooms. I mean, I'm a terrible fan, I'm sorry. But I loved the newest Doom by id, Bethesda, whatever. Published by Bethesda. Like, it's so good. Oh my god. Like, just how it plays, the momentum, it's just so kinetic and so fun. So I'm really excited.
And you move so fast.
You move so fast because it's like you can just bam, shoot a guy, punch a guy, chain it together forever. It's really just amazing. So I'm excited for Doom Eternal. It looks awesome.
My experience with the Doom series is sort of similar to what we were talking about at the beginning of the show with Commander Keen. Like, I played that series when I was way too young to understand it.
Yeah.
And probably too young to be playing such a violent game, honestly.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it.
A few too many demons for baby Josh.
I probably played more Wolfenstein, actually.
Yeah, I'm excited for Wolfenstein Youngblood, too.
My experience with Doom, with the 2016 Doom, I mean, like everybody, pretty much, I was, like, glad that they made it so different from, like, your typical AAA first-person shooters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I did finish it eventually on the Switch, but it's kind of a hard game for me to go back to, and I'd probably like it more if I played more arcade mode. But just, like, the map design... So it sort of has the same issue for me that I think something like Metroid Prime does, where I'm very, very, very bad at keeping track of where I am in a 3D space sometimes. Especially with something like that.
But we're here to rip and tear. We're not here to look at a map.
Exactly, but I keep having to pull the map up so I can find stuff. That being said, like, in sort of the wake of Doom 2016, I did go back and I found out, I can't remember what it was, it's been a few years now, like, the best way to play, like, the classic Doom in, like, a little bit more of a modern engine, I think it was. Like, it's the exact same levels and everything,
yeah.
But, like, you have mouse controls and everything. Mm-hmm. And, God, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Like, going back to Doom Classic and finally, like, being in a position to understand what I was supposed to do, like, it honestly kind of blew me away. Like, I see why that game was so freaking revolutionary.
Oh, yeah.
So, as far as Doom Eternal specifically goes, like I said, while I liked Doom 2016 well enough, I wasn't completely blown away by it the way some people were. But I'll definitely check it out when it comes out. Mm-hmm. Somebody wants to know... Oh no, my battery's running low.
Oh, shit!
Wiley Johnson wants to know, will there be a return of Bird Dad? I guess that means will you be in future videos?
I'd like to think so.
Yeah, I mean, whenever I do another Metroid video especially, it'd be good to follow up on that in some way.
I don't know if you want to put me out the pasture just yet. To release me into the bird sanctuary, you know?
Do you put birds out to pasture?
I don't think you could keep them in the pasture, realistically.
It's a metaphor. King Raikou wants to know, Josh, do you think the Banjo games hold up, both Kazooie and Tooie? I don't want to go into too much detail about my thoughts on that specifically, since I may very well do it for a series.
Banjo-Kazooie definitely holds up.
It's hard for me to say because they were so formative to me, and I played them when I was 10 years old.
Yeah, but even playing them again now, like, just recently, I've been having a ton of fun.
Yeah, that's true. You've gone a long time without playing them.
Yeah. I haven't played them in a long time.
I mean, they do definitely probably show some of the same sort of, like, typical, you know, issues.
Yeah.
But especially in this form, on the, like, playing them on the Xbox, with, like, this is like the 2009, or 2008, 4J Studios port, which, you know, gives you widescreen support. On the Xbox One X, it even goes up to 4K, which is freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's really
Banjo-Kazooie at 4K.
It looks so good. Yeah.
And it has much better controls. So, in my opinion, and I'm gonna be biased because I played them when I was 10, but yeah, I think that you could play them now and still sort of glean. Even if you didn't play them back then, you'd see, like, you could still definitely have fun with them.
No, I think they're still... Uh-oh.
Yeah, my laptop just died. That's okay.
Are we doomed?
No, we're not
Did
doomed.
we lose the stream?
No, nothing was. All we were doing on my laptop was looking at the
Oh, okay. We can do that on. Can we do that on this?
Yeah, we can do it on there. Keep talking. I'll pull it up.
Oh, okay. But no, like, you can totally play Banjo-Kazooie now and have, like, a ton of fun. I mean, yeah, there's still some, like, old school jank there, but it's not enough. It's not, like, detrimental enough to where you're gonna hate it.
And I apologize, Chad. I can't see you right now.
Sorry. We're getting back.
Like, we're not gonna... basically, give me just a second. If you submitted a question, I'm probably not gonna be able to see it until right about... Come on. Come on. Now.
Here we go.
Oh, I actually can see the...
Oh, sweet.
Still see above. Okay, never mind. Don't repeat yourself.
Yeah, we're good. We're good, folks.
I'll scroll up and up. Oh my goodness.
Oh my lord.
Okay, thank you very much to the King of Cucumbers who donated $20 to the stream. Thank you so much.
Cucumber King. My God.
They say, Wild Hope time. I'm really hoping that Prime 4 won't fall into other M fan service.
Oh, they're not gonna make that mistake again.
I'm the only person I know excited for Rune Factory 5, which didn't show, and really hopeful for Breath of the Wild 2. Are you excited for any obscure titles?
Oh, dude, I'm excited for Rune Factory 5. I'm like a big Harvest Moon fan.
Oh, yeah, you are. Man, anything like that. Stardew Valley,
Yeah.
My Time at Portia.
I got a problem.
Farm simulators of any kind, pretty much. You're
I just want to plant some turnips, okay? But I'm really excited for Astral Chain. I guess it's not really obscure, but it's, you know, smaller. Ghostwire seems really cool. But I'm definitely excited for Astral Chain because I love Platinum and I love pretty much every game they make.
As for me, I don't know. Oh, I know. We didn't see. It wasn't an E3, and I don't know how obscure this actually is. I always wonder about that. What counts as obscure?
Yeah, right.
But one of the games I'm most hyped for that wasn't an E3 is the Stanley Parable Super Deluxe.
Oh yeah, you're so excited for that.
I basically can't get enough of the Stanley Parable.
Yeah.
Let me scroll up a little further to see what we missed. Ooh, more spam.
Back at it again.
Oh crap! I can't get rid of the spam now.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because like you're the one logged in on this system.
Uh-oh.
It was just once. We'll take care of it if it becomes a problem.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
Okay, there we were. How do you feel about doing a geek critique on Metal Gear Solid? Oh, that's happening at some point.
Yeah, that's inevitable.
That has always been happening. What was the biggest problem or strength with this year's E3? Yeah, we pretty much answered this earlier. It was lack of gameplay footage.
Yeah, big time.
Like, I want E3 to give me an idea of what it's actually going to be like to play these games. And most of the trailers from everybody except Nintendo and probably like a couple of others, Final Fantasy VII Remake had plenty of gameplay stuff. But like, the trailers just give you an idea of what they want you to think of the game, you know? I want to know what it's. I want to glean some idea of what it's going to be like to actually like play it. What I'll be doing while I'm actually playing it.
And trailers are really cool to see. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, trailers can be great.
Yeah.
It's just I need more than that.
Oh, I'm also excited for Fire Emblem Three Houses.
There you go.
We didn't talk about that one too much because, you know, obvious reasons, but
sure.
I love Fire Emblem. So, and I think Three Houses looks like it's going to be really good.
Somebody asks, since Doom Eternal's coming, would you ever do a Doom season? I mean, never say never, but like I feel like it's not really a series that I would have that much of a unique perspective on, or something that I would be like. One thing I talked about, I think, in the other M video was like something that I always try to do with like a game that I'm working on for a video is find a unique perspective on it or find a way to be passionate about it.
Yeah.
And I just don't think I could be particularly unique when it comes to Doom.
Yeah.
I
mean, it would be like a good series to dig into though, because there's so much history there.
It would be for sure.
But I get what you're saying.
I would probably be
Pressure.
I'd probably be much more likely to do a Commander Keen series,
yeah,
which would get like 37 views.
Yeah.
All of them from Lazy Game Reviews, by the way.
I know.
Do you think a Sonic Adventure remake is likely, and do you think they'll do it well? Boy, I tell you, if they did a Sonic Adventure remake...
Boy, I'll tell you. Sorry.
Alright, fine. Boy, I'll tell you. If they do a Sonic Adventure remake, then it has to freaking be like a Final Fantasy VII style remake. In that, like, it's taking the same basic concept and completely reimagining it. Because as much as I love it, Sonic Adventure is one of my favorite Sonic games. But just, like, doing a remake of Sonic Adventure and making it play the exact same way wouldn't go over well in 2019 or 2020 or whenever. Like, what was so impressive about that game was just how much there was to do in it, how much stuff was in it that had never, like, really been done on that level before. And none of it holds up well at all now. So I think it's possible. I also think that it's probably pretty likely that Sega's gonna, like, play more into Sonic Adventure nostalgia specifically going forward. While still, I mean, they're still definitely gonna keep on, like, the classic stuff too, but I think it's time, you know?
I'm gonna fall.
She was talking to Daisy.
Sorry. Daisy has a horrible habit of putting herself in precarious situations and just trusting us to catch her, which we usually always do.
King Raikou says, will you play Sonic 3 Air? Already have. A-I-R, Angel Island Remix. What class/weapon will you start as in PSO2? I will definitely... I'm sure they're still in. I played, like, one of the fan translation patches of PSO2 a long time ago, so I can't remember if they're still in, but I'm sure they're still in. I was always a Humar. You can't pronounce the classes in that game.
You really can't.
But no, it always worked out well because I was always a hunter, Kalen was always a force, Lennon was always a ranger, so we had our bases covered.
The jester-looking one?
That was a force.
Yeah, I played as that one.
I can't remember specifically what that one was called, but...
I want to do that again.
Let's see. When can we expect Shadow the Hedgehog? I don't know. People always want to know stuff like that.
He's working really hard, though.
Just like Duke Nukem Forever, guys. It'll be ready. It'll be out when it's ready. And it'll hopefully be less disappointing than that.
Fingers crossed.
Sam wants to know, are you going to play My Friend Pedro? Do you know what that is?
Oh, it's the banana game, isn't it?
That sounds right.
I'm not sure what it's about, but I mean, I like giving any cool, new, weird game a shot.
Sure. Looking for questions. Remember when Banjo-Kazooie were in the Sonic Racing game? Yeah, Banjo-Kazooie has a lot of, like, crossover with a lot of characters who are already in Smash Brothers. Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
It was the first Sonic Racing game. Sega and Sonic All-Stars Racing, I think. On the Xbox version, Banjo and Kazooie were characters.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I'm doing the Sandcastle floor puzzle, so you're gonna have to...
Puzzle.
Oh, somebody's asking which version is this. This is the 2008 4J Studios Xbox. Oh, I lost my spot. Banjo. Okay, I know where I am. This is the Xbox 360 version, essentially, but it's running on the Xbox One.
And it runs really well. It's a good version.
God, it's hard to talk and spell things simultaneously. My God.
You just have to unlock 100% of your brain.
It feels like that's what I'm doing. I'm going into overdrive here. So do you see some more questions?
Oh, Alicia looking. I don't know. What do you think looks saucy?
You can just ask. It's fine. Somebody says, do you still go back to Sonic Mania? And yes, how often do you? Of course I do. You can answer this question. You see how often I go back to Sonic Mania.
Oh my God. Whenever he wants to play a video game, he usually starts with that as like a little appetizer and then goes and plays something else. He's pretty much constantly playing that game.
I would say it's very rare that even a week goes by when I don't play Sonic Mania. Not saying I play through the whole thing necessarily.
It used to be whenever I'd leave the room, I would come back and there's Sonic Mania.
And by the way, this was like after the game had been out for like 6 months when we moved in together.
Yeah.
I was still playing it that often.
Still going hard.
So yeah.
Oh, we never talked about the Link's Awakening remake.
Oh man, we didn't. How did we skip that?
I'm really excited about it. I played.
That's on your top 10 list for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Like I played Link's Awakening like on the GBA back when I was a little baby. Not GBA, Game Boy Color. I'm so sorry. When I was a little baby.
The GBA can play Game Boy Color games. It's fine.
Well, I probably played it on my. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
But. No, I think the remake looks so cute. I like the little toy aesthetic they're going for. And I want to play it right now.
Yeah, for sure. Me too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Link's Awakening was the first Zelda game I actually played. Mm-hmm. It came with my Game Boy, and to this day, 25 years later, I still have not finished it. What I remember about Link's Awakening, like, to that point, basically all I had ever played was platformers. Because they were so...
I think the stream okay?
Oh no, I paused it.
Oh.
So it wouldn't take up bandwidth here.
Gotcha.
To that point, all I had ever played was platformers. So the mere fact that Link, like, you didn't have a jump button, I remember being just the most bizarre, confusing thing to me.
I like that there was a chain chomp in it.
Yeah, that was fun. Now, admittedly, I know you get Rock's Feather. I know you do get a jump button, but I never made it that far when I was a kid. Yeah, like, if I talk now about how I'm sort of not the best at, like, noticing visual things on screen in a game.
It's not.
Which is probably why, like, Zelda, like, until Breath of the Wild never quite gelled with me. For reasons like that.
When, like, Ocarina of Time was one of the games that made me, love games.
Like, adventure games in general, just, like, I like kinetic action. I like skill challenges.
I like being in a forest.
And I say that while also saying that Banjo-Kazooie, which is a game where you run around this expansive 3D world and have to keep track of things and find things.
It's a little different.
It is.
Still platform.
But yeah, Link's Awakening remake looks adorable. Very, very unique art style.
I really like it.
I'm looking forward to it. I guess I'm just a little worried that, like, it's not going to change much from the Game Boy version.
Yeah, but
it'll still be a fun time either way.
Come on.
Other than the visuals. What do you think the propositions are for Panzer Dragoon Saga Remake? God, maybe if, like, this remake of the original game does super well, but I know that they lost the source code for Panzer Dragoon Saga.
What is up with that?
It was just that. Oh god, Snacker has me trapped. Snacker has me trapped.
Oh shit!
Snacker has me trapped.
It's pretty much my worst.
Oh man.
Man, he snacked real good.
It's a rendition of what Microsoft did to Rare between 2002 and 2013. Am I right,
guys?
So yeah, Panzer Dragoon Saga seems kind of like a remake of that game, while I know it would make, like, the sadly very few people who ever played Panzer Dragoon Saga very, very happy. I think that would be, like, such a higher, like, degree of difficulty than, like, remaking something like the original Panzer Dragoon, that it doesn't seem very likely.
I mean, maybe they'll make a new Panzer Dragoon game.
Like a new Panzer Dragoon RPG? Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, or, you know.
That seems more plausible than a remake.
Yeah.
When Bird Dad collab.
We collab every day. Oh shit, it's back.
Oh, more spam, no.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Stop it.
How do we fix that? Do I need to go do something?
Dr. Mad wants to know, did you own a Virtual Boy? Yeah, I made a whole episode about it.
He still owns a Virtual Boy.
I still own a Virtual Boy. I see my Virtual Boy every single day.
Mm-hmm. You give it a little kiss.
I don't do that every single day.
Yeah, but at least every other day, or else it gets sad.
Man, these chat messages are very old at this point. I see them talking about things that I think we're going in too in depth. We need to go more rapid fire with these questions, or we're never going to stop. Do you prefer a Banjo-Kazooie remake for Switch and new consoles, or a new game in the old style? I'd rather have a new game in the old style.
I would too.
I think that there's not, like, just out-and-out remaking Banjo-Kazooie would probably not make it all that different.
Yeah.
And playing it in 4K here is
I'd like to see what
really
new
good.
they could do with it.
Favorite Mario sports game? Mario Golf Game Boy Color.
Mario Tennis on the GameCube.
Fair enough. Would you ever consider a Halo critique series, even though you never really got into the series? Yeah, actually, Halo is probably one of those things where, like, I think just the pressure of knowing that I'm making a series on it would give me more incentive to try to get into it and play it.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a lot. I think it could be a lot of fun to sort of like dig into what made that such a phenomenon from an outsider's perspective, kind of the same way I did with Metroid.
Yeah, that'd be really good. Really good series for you to do.
Apparently my friend Pedro is a 2D shooter.
Oh, it does involve a banana though, doesn't it? I feel I've seen a banana.
Let's see. When did you two get engaged? Oh, we got engaged on January 1st on New Year's Day.
We did. Rang in the new year.
When is your Samus Returns critique? It's gonna happen someday, guys. Don't worry. I've always wanted to kind of make it part of like another. So there's another Metroid 2 remake. I'd like to make another Metroid TGC season.
Yeah.
The problem
There's
is
a lot more to dig in there.
The problem is, other than Samus Returns, like it'd be sort of a season of spin-offs, Yeah. Federation Force, Prime Pinball, Prime Hunters, that sort of thing. It'll happen. Don't worry.
Will you do a Devil May Cry critique? I've been pushing for this one forever.
If I do, you will be involved.
Hell yeah.
She is so much more into and so much better at Devil May Cry than I am.
Man, you should have seen me when Devil May Cry 5 got announced. Woo!
Who was a video game character you were scared of as a kid?
Oh, Mother Brain and that fucking eel from Mario 64.
And Clanker in Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh, I was scared of Clanker.
Lots of people were scared of Clanker.
Did not care for, Did not care for Clanker, no.
I don't remember being scared of any video game characters when I was a kid.
I feel like I was scared of at least one more that was really dumb. I'm trying to remember.
Instead of video game characters, I'll say that I have this very vivid, specific memory of running out of the room and like hiding in the hallway when the evil Green Ranger Tommy came to the command center and was ripping it up.
Aww.
Like that was a little traumatic for me as a 6-year-old.
Precious Barber.
Any thoughts on the Dark Crystal game? We didn't talk about that, and I don't really have any thoughts on it. No.
I think it looks cute. I don't know much about the Dark Crystal, but.
Let's see. Oh god, I think it came down. Jazz music stops. Josh, did you know you can easily kill the shark? Only recently did I learn that.
You can kill
Actually.
the shark?
Well, not permanent. I don't think it's permanent. I think he comes back after a few minutes. But yeah, if you just poop eggs onto him.
Oh. Man, I never knew that.
And if you can whack him with 3 of them, then yeah, he goes away for quite a while.
That would have saved me a lot of trauma.
Indeed. Are you going to pick up the new Mario and Sonic at the Olympics? I probably will, actually.
It does look pretty fun.
I haven't played a Mario and Sonic at the Olympics game since the original one, so I'm sure it's pretty different at this point. I love how it always just raises the question, how does anybody beat Sonic in, like, the running events?
I think he's just being sporting. He's just slowing down.
He just wants to give everyone a fair shot.
He could still win easily. Just make it a little harder, so, like, where do you draw the line?
Any thoughts on the new Contra game? Yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
I think, isn't there... That's just like a compilation, right?
No, there's a new, new...
Oh, there is! You're right!
Yeah.
God, E3 was huge.
It looks really different.
I'm probably more excited about the compilation. Like,
Yeah.
man, freaking everything's in that.
I was never a big Contra fan, but hey, it could be cool.
Somebody asked... We answered earlier, what were you expecting that didn't show up at E3?
Yeah.
That was one of the Discord questions a while ago.
What is your most hated video game publisher?
I don't...
I used to get really mad at Capcom, but they're not really.
I try not to hate.
I try not to anymore either, but when I was a teen,
yeah. Top 3 Saturn games. I'll let you go. Top 3 Saturn games. Number 1 is Sonic R, obviously. It's
yes.
Objectively the best game on the platform.
It's actually Sonic R, and Sonic R.
Same answer for me, yeah. Got it. Yeah, that cat keeps skipping down.
Sorry.
Come up. Oh, the piano in Mario 64.
Ooh.
That was scary.
Yeah, that thing was freaky. Did not... Just that whole, level, I did not care for it.
Kalen Buddy says, in the Breath of the Wild 2 trailer, the bluish-whitish arm takes over Link's arm. What do you think will come of that? I don't know. That's one of those narrative things. I mean, I'm sure it's going to have some gameplay implications, But until I know more, I'm not gonna worry too much about it.
I think he's gonna get a Devil Bringer, like Nero and Devil May Cry 4. Calling it.
I think he's gonna get a robotic Phantom Pain arm that he's gonna be able to shoot at people across great distances.
I think the only gameplay function the arm is gonna serve is if you press a button, it'll pat Link on the head.
Let's see. Some of these questions are basically entire videos.
Right.
Yeah. Red Robot in Commander Keen 5. Thank you. That's my answer. That thing freaked me out.
Ooh.
Because I was a lot younger when I was playing that compared to some of the other stuff.
Oh.
Oh, no. See, unlike basically every other enemy in the game, he was completely invulnerable.
Yeah.
There was no way to kill him whatsoever.
Oh, that's fucked.
And if he saw you, he would fire this barrage of beams at you that were basically impossible to dodge.
No, thank you.
So yeah, Red Robot. Thank you for jogging my memory on that.
But no, I remember whenever my brother played Super Metroid when I was a kid, I had to, like, leave because I couldn't handle seeing Mother Brain.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was my big one.
Nash White wants to know, have you ever thought about doing a fan games episode on Sonic similarly to how you did a spin-off roundup?
That'd be cool.
Yeah, just like a one-video compilation of some of the big fan games, or... Like, I feel like I played a lot more fan games when I was younger, so I kind of have some perspective on, like, the very early days of it. Of, like, Sonic Fan Game HQ. Yeah, that might be fun. Favorite RPGs. Super Mario RPG, Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Yellow, Final Fantasy VII, I guess, would have to go on there by default. I have trouble of thinking of many more than that.
Well, for me, Persona 3, Persona 4, Persona 5.
I do want to play Persona 5, I'll say that. I've been putting that off for a few years now.
Final Fantasy 9, probably. I love Final Fantasy 9. Jeez.
You're looking at your PlayStation shelf?
Yeah, it's one of those things.
We have an entire shelf for her PlayStation
Oh,
games.
Final Fantasy 12. I love Final Fantasy 12. It's one of those things where you're trying to think of them and they won't come to you.
I mean, RPGs is a little bit of a broad term. Like, I took it as JRPGs, right?
Yeah.
If you take it, like...
Oh, Earthbound, duh.
Yeah, there you go.
Undertale.
Undertale! That's definitely on my list.
Undertale.
When is the super in-depth Dragon Quest series retrospective going to be done? Sometime 2030, maybe? I'll be dead before that ever happens.
We're working on it.
No, we're not!
We're working on it.
We're not working on it.
We're not working on it. Oh, God, please.
Do you think you'll do a retrospective series on Mega Man or Mega Man X? Yeah, that's very likely.
That's gotta happen.
Mega Man X is probably actually a little more likely.
Yeah.
Love Mega Man X.
Mega Man X is the good shit.
If... I don't know some of these. Another congratulations on getting engaged.
Oh, thank you!
Thank you very much.
You guys are so nice.
Of your old videos, which one would you say you're surprised how well it aged? That's a funny question because, like, going back to some of the really old stuff now, I don't remember some of it particularly well, so it's kind of still new to me.
Mm-hmm.
I would say everything from about Sonic 3 onward I'm pretty happy with. Stuff from before that could still be a little rough sometimes, but, like, I'm still really happy with, like, how the Donkey Kong Country series came out especially. Like, that was back in the days when my videos were quite a bit shorter as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that one was really good.
We talked a little bit about Luigi's Mansion 3 earlier. Mr.
excited.
Crash's Underwear. Good name.
That is a good name.
She's hyped about it. I'm probably not gonna be able to get into the gameplay. Luigi's Mansion gameplay.
You have
never
to
did
be
much.
Gooigi.
I'm on board with Gooigi. And hey, doesn't it have
honor
co-op?
bound. Yeah.
Okay, it has co-op. Yeah,
You're
we'll play it.
honor bound to be Gooigi.
That's a very loaded question. Like, okay, a couple of people have asked questions about would I do like a rare retrospective series. Yeah, that's totally possible.
Oh yeah, I'm kind of shocked you haven't.
Yeah, actually. I mean, I've done the DKC series.
Yeah, but that's different. Like.
But you mean like some like Cameo, Conquer, Perfect Dark, Jet Force, like games like a series that wouldn't be long. Like I couldn't do a Jet Force Gemini season.
Yeah.
So yeah, sort of
do you
a
want
rare
me to
roundup.
run around and Banjo Kazooie some?
Yeah, go for it.
Be entertained.
No, yeah, go for it. Give them something to look at.
Oh fuck!
Immediately.
It's fine. We're fine.
Would you rather have Slime in Smash over the Hero? No, not really. Hero's fine. I don't know.
Hero's fine.
What do you think of Mega Man Battle Network and Star Force in comparison to conventional RPGs? I haven't played them too much, but I will say Kalen was super into them when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Kalen
I always
loved
thought
them
the
so
Battle
much.
Network games looked pretty fun, but I never played them.
Poor Banjo must be bored out of his mind by now.
He going.
We're going.
He going. Don't worry.
Oh, God. More spam. God. Hang on. Banjo's just left standing on a rock.
He's fine. Ah! Oh!
Somebody says, what is the next Geek Critique season after this one? I don't know for sure, but I'll tell you what I'm leaning toward. The ideas I have are pretty much, I could do Castlevania, I could do Banjo-Kazooie,
Okay, fuck it.
or I could do sort of a season on Mario RPGs, which would sort of chronicle, like, I'd do Super Mario RPG, Paper Mario, and Mario and Luigi. So
Yeah.
basically the first entry in each series. And then sort of come back and see how those got responded to and decide if I wanted to do, like, another season.
Yeah, an RPG series would be very different for you.
It would be different, and it would also be difficult.
Yeah.
Like, RPGs take so much longer to play, and there's, like, a lot more to dig into. And, like, I definitely, no matter what, whether I do that or not, I definitely want to do a video about Super Mario RPG.
Oh, yeah. You love that. Disco shit.
Do you have any memories of Street Fighter? Yeah, absolutely. Street Fighter was, like, the biggest thing in the world when I was a kid.
I played Street Fighter 3 Alpha with my brother, like, all the time. I was never good at it, but I played it.
What are the chances that Breath of the Wild will actually let you play as Zelda? And how mad will you be if it's just, like, one section? Like, you just get to play as Zelda for one bit.
Yeah, I was about to say, I feel like maybe they do like they did in Wind Waker, where you take control of another character for a little bit, like with Medley and, yeah. But I'd like to think that she would maybe have her own sections. That'd be really cool. Be very different.
Somebody asked when the Shadow retrospective was,
Yeah.
and somebody responded, every time this question is asked, the release is delayed by 1 month.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, I've got to do the Dreamcast follow-up first.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been working on lately.
Mm-hmm.
Conservative, like, I feel like I always, anytime, I never offer,
Danger.
like, when things might happen, because literally everything, like, if I try to estimate how long something will take, it'll probably be at least 4 times longer than that.
Yeah.
So I'm just not gonna say anything definitive, but it's coming along.
Stuff's just hard to gauge.
Somebody suggests I should put Persona 5 off a bit longer until Royal comes out. That's not a bad idea.
No, that's fair. I've been wanting to do another playthrough of it, but I'm like, but you know, the Royal...
What was your favorite non-Nintendo announcement this year? Easy. Phantasy Star Online 2 coming to the West.
Oh no.
Who was the best character in the entire Banjo-Kazooie series, and why is it Mr. Patch? That's a good question, though. What's your favorite, like NPC in Banjo-Kazooie?
Huh. I like that bucket.
Leaky, I think his name is.
I like the bucket. He's a good bucket.
Patches is definitely really good. Gobi. Gobi's a little tough, though, because he recurs so much. Like, Gobi is great because, like, the more you help him, the less he likes you.
Oh,
and I feel like that's very inherent to, like, what's fun about Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
Have you ever played the Soulsborne games? I've played Dark... You might have seen, if your eyes weren't burning out over the Switch home screen earlier, we do have Dark Souls on the Switch.
Yeah.
I've played it a little bit there.
I'm
but
more of the Dark Souls.
You are. I've put more time into Bloodborne than anything else.
Yeah, Bloodborne's definitely my favorite, but I've put a ton of time into Dark Souls 1. And I played Demon Souls back in the day too. But
what's your favorite Sonic game? Sonic 3 and Knuckles. What's your favorite Sonic game?
Sonic Dreams Collection.
Well, it's been fun, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this one appearance that Alicia will ever make on the channel.
I really love Sonic Mania. Sonic Mania's
There
really
you
fun. I was just kidding. Relax. I'm jumping on some boxes right now.
Another person, Blade Blur says, "Oh, you guys are engaged. Congratulations. Thank you very much."
Thank you, you kind, beautiful soul.
Would you consider going to E3, or is that outside of the scope of this channel?
Oh, I would love to go to E3.
Absolutely love to go to E3.
I would just touch everything.
It's a little tough because it's so far away from us, you know?
I'm just really sad I'll never get to be in the same room as Reggie. I mean, as far as he knows, we won't be in the same room.
Oh, okay. Oh, I don't... This is going to lead to some uncomfortable questions. Yeah, I would... Actually, me and Hyle Russell of DKVine.com have talked about this before. He has gone to E3 for the past, like, I think since, like, 2015 now.
Mm-hmm.
So, he has said that he would absolutely love for us to go. And
Yeah,
that,
it'd be
you know,
great.
having been so many times himself, he would know how to, like...
This is a bad plan. but
He
I'm
would
gonna
know
do
the
it.
ropes, you
Yeah.
know?
I just wanted to do it. Yeah. Oh, hi. Hi, Nippers.
They did say, you know, E3 is outside the scope of this channel. Yeah, it kind of is.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, like, I don't talk a lot about new stuff at all.
Yeah.
At least on the main channel stuff. But nonetheless, yeah,
But
of course.
still,
I'd
I
love...
just want to be there. Oh, shit.
Let's see. Oh, people are voting on which season I should do next.
Oh.
One for BK, Banjo-Kazooie, one for Mario RPGs, Castlevania, Kirby retrospective.
Yeah, Kirby! Curb! My boy!
Banjo would be timely for the Smash announcement. I mean, honestly, that's definitely what I'm most excited about right now. But, you know...
I'm gonna get in there.
Are you?
Yeah. Oh, I hate you!
Why is your Dreamcast video one of the best videos on YouTube ever?
Aw.
Thank you very much, and,
Why are you so kind?
that is very kind, thank you. I mean, I think I have, like, just
Whoops.
the perspective that I have on the Dreamcast is, and the history that I have with it is so specifically good to make a video like that on it.
Mm-hmm.
The Dreamcast video might be my favorite video I've done, honestly.
Yeah, that one's really great. You did a really awesome job, my love.
What do you think of Project Plus if you're still following Project M? I haven't looked into Project M in quite some time, honestly. Don't know much about it. The idea of a Mario RPG critique just made me giggle in actual life. Thank you very much. No, like I said, it's honestly the idea of doing Paper Mario and Mario and Luigi. Like, could I do that and make it good? That has me a little on edge about it. I know.
Of course you could do that and make it good.
Well, thank you, but
You're welcome.
I know I would have a lot to say about Mario RPG.
Oh, yeah.
The Sonic Adventure video is fantastic. Thank you very much.
Kind.
What is your least favorite game of all time? You know, I actually do have an answer here. It's The Elder Scrolls Oblivion.
That's reasonable. Oh, fuck.
And when I say least favorite, like, that game was also very important to me because I'd just gotten an Xbox 360 for Christmas 2007.
Yeah.
I'd beaten Sonic 06, and I had inexplicably liked it a lot more than I probably should have. But I'd always heard, ever since it had come out for like almost 2 years, Oblivion is the most amazing game in the entire world. It's like the holodeck in Star Trek The Next Generation. Like, I had friends for whom it completely took over their lives for a while. Heard nothing but good things about it. So, on so many recommendations, I paid full price for it. And, you know, I was like 20 years old. Paying full price for games was not something I could afford to do very often at all.
Yeah.
No, God, I was still 19. Jeez. And about an hour in, I was like, oh my God, I hate everything about this. And that's important.
It
like,
would not be your kind of game, though.
No, but that was actually a really important thing. It taught me a lot about what to look for in my kind of game. Like, what my kind of game is. It sort of made me a lot more aware of that sort of thing. And that's a good thing.
Man, is there any game that just insults me with its very existence? That is a I mean, maybe Mass Effect 3. That game made me very mad.
You hate Metal Gear Solid 5 a lot.
Oh, yeah! Boy, that would be it. Yep.
Metal Gear Solid 5 has been a constant debate that we've had ever since our relationship started.
Since the beginning, since the first time we ever spoke.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, okay, not since it wasn't even out the first time we spoke.
Yeah, it was.
Was it? Oh, yeah, you're right.
Came out fall 2015.
Yeah, da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, don't get me started on that one.
We'll be here all night.
Yep.
And we may be here all night anyway.
Yep.
How long do you think it'll take to play through everything released in March 2020? Yeah, for real. Lots coming out right then. I see a few more good questions, but honestly, we've been going real hard for a while now.
Yeah, we probably should wrap it up.
Yeah. Alright, so... I'm gonna get down to the bottom of the chat. It's just I'm like, oh god, I want to answer that, but if I do, I'll be answering it for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So let's put a pin in that. We'll do this again.
Oh, yeah.
I've always wanted to do this more often.
This has been really fun.
Well, I'm glad this is the first time you've ever done anything like this, and you did excellent.
I hope so. I hope I've been charming and entertaining.
I hope you all... No, wait. I was about to say I hope you all like my fiance as much as I do, but that's...
No.
I hope you don't like her that much.
Let's not push it that far.
But I hope you all find her as funny and as affable and as entertaining as I do.
I don't feel traumatized from this experience.
Good, good. So, thank you all for sticking with us. I can't believe we went this long, but at the same time, I kind of can.
Yeah, it's been really fun.
We'll for sure try to do this more often. If you want more of me and Alicia hanging out and interacting, check out the alt channel. It's called Geek Critique Genesis. I'll throw a link in there. Give me just a second.
Drink in that content.
We've been having a good time just making little goofy videos over there.
Some silly content. You guys are in for some silly content.
I know it doesn't sound appealing, but check out the Style Savvy video.
We had a lot of fun with that one.
I was surprised by how much fun I was actually having there.
Style Savvy's legit. You didn't want to believe me, but...
Man, YouTube does not know the alt channel exists at all.
No wonder people can't find it.
Like, I searched Google for it, and they're like, what? I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
But it links to
I'm
the
gonna
main
get in.
channel.
I'm gonna get in. Oh, shit. I'm gonna get in its little spicy mouth. Ooh,
there it is. Ooh, the alt channel has 824 subscribers now.
Hell yeah. Shine on.
Oh, I guess, this is gonna come from your account. Your Google account.
Oh.
Oh,
okay.
no, wait, I can't, no, you don't actually have a channel.
Oh, no.
I can't.
Could just link it on your Twitter.
That's a good idea. I'll throw a link on the Twitter. You guys probably know where that is. Or at least you can find it a lot easier than the alt channel.
Kazooie keeps damaging me.
Okay. Anyway, thank you all for sticking with us. I hope this was a good time.
Hope you guys had fun.
If you have any ideas for other streams we could have...
What? Which note? Which note do I need to get?
If you have ideas for other streams we could do, or other things you'd like to see, just let us know. I think we've both had a lot of fun, and
Yeah.
this has been a good time.
I think you're pretty cool, King Raiko. I'm about to get ate by a shark, though.
As long as you don't get trapped like you did before. So,
Yeah,
thanks for sticking with us. E3 2019 was a great time. Really looking forward to a lot of stuff. Hope the stream's been as fun as that. At least half as fun as that. Until next time. You want to say it?
You keep geeking.
We'll keep critiquing. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, you guys. Have a good night. Drink water. Eat your vegetables. Live your best life.
Give it a second.
Oh, okay. Giving it a second.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.